special thank you to Pokemon Company for providing the products featured in this video. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the 90th episode of Directly to You. It's a Fanatics 4 podcast. I'm AJ of Fanatics 4. I'm joined by Parker of Fanatics 4. Say hi to the people, Parker. Parker says hi.
Hello to the people. What's up?
Parker said hi.
Parker says
also,
hi.
we're joined by Ian of OK Beast. He's here
Hi.
as well.
I
We're
said
going
hi
to talk. Yes, yes. And Ian says hi. Is that a thing that we're going to start? Do we need
It is
to
now.
We do a collaborative shirt of Ian says hi. We unboxed the Pokemon thing. But, well, first, housekeeping. You can support this channel by going to Fanatics4, YouTube.com/Fanatics4, Twitch.tv/Fanatics4, paying $4.99. You get exclusive emotes, you get loyalty badges, you get gaming time with us, you get access to the supporters only Discord. You don't have to pay to join our Discord, though. You could just join that by clicking the link in the description. It's a great old fun time. We trade Pokemon. It helps me complete my Pokedex. I'm so very close. Speaking of so very close, my close friends at Pokemon Company sent me a thing.
That's good.
You know, and we unboxed this. Full transparency. I messed up. I'm not used to video. We're on video. If you're on YouTube.com/directly to you, which if you're not, subscribe to that too. I got a thing. I unboxed it. It's an advent calendar. I thought it was upside down, but it's not. Look at that.
Look at it.
It's great.
Just look at it.
Look at it. I took a thing out. It's Pokemon cards. We're going to show you the Pokemon cards, and Ian's going to narrate them all over again. He did this before.
Let's do it.
Classic.
Okay. First, here's
Wait, let's see
time
if
we
I
just
can remember.
practice.
There's one that's a gun. There's a Torkoal. There's a there's
5 more that are all guns.
This Crabdominable. There's the trainer thing you get on the island.
Here's the code.
Your Ash's
For
mom is there.
The lucky viewer that sees it first. You
Do
know?
it.
Put that in. There it is. Here are the codes.
Crabdominable.
There it is.
That's the word. Ducklet. That was not an original name. This one, Helioptile. Got
Sure.
a weird mouthfeel on that one. The Island Challenger Amulet.
Which is the holographic,
My
even though it doesn't
favorite
really
Pokemon.
look like it.
This is Cosmog. That is Woobat. That was a
Yeah.
good ass name. This is Cricketoon,
Yes,
Cricketoon,
sure.
one of those. Big Eye Energy, Psychic.
Yeah, great boy. Great boy, I
That's for
think is what we
type
called
in
it last
Japanese.
time. Yes.
Grape type, yes, grape type. My favorite Pokemon type.
Yes.
This is Probopass.
Yeah.
Got him. Not tricking me this time, Pokemon Company. Torkoal.
right.
Yep.
Gun.
There it is. The best Pokemon. Spoilers for Pokemon's third entry in Sword and Shield. Also,
Before we even get into Pokemon proper, I know that Pokemon Gun is a joke, but this Pokemon game, more so than any other Pokemon game, is the best and most primed for a sequel out of any of them.
Yeah.
More so than Black and White, more so than Sun and Moon. Like, there are specific things in this game that are perfect for a part 2 or a sequel.
Okay, so do you think that they're going to do 2 sequels?
I don't think they're not going. I think they're actually not going to do any sequels, because anytime you want the Pokemon Company to do something, they're probably not going to do it. But I'm saying story wise and narrative wise, this one specifically probably has the best like framework for a sequel to kind of move forward, I guess.
Great. Parker said some stuff about Pokemon cards last time.
I did.
I don't remember.
It doesn't matter. You know, it'll just come back some different time.
We play games here.
We do.
What games are you people
true.
play?
I do have one that's not Pokemon, because
Okay.
I figure then past that it's just going to be all talking about Pokemon.
Right.
Possibly not. Yeah, a real quick update. I finished The Tourist, the one I talked about it last week on the podcast, and I finished it. I beat it. And
How
I actually
dare you?
mentioned it.
You didn't finish Pokemon, but you finished the Taurus?
A game that I can finish almost
Fired.
100% in 6 hours versus a game that 6 hours
Hey,
in I was
are
still...
you not reading r/Reddit? You can finish Pokemon in 6 hours.
Oh, you're so right. Should have known.
Oh man, Game Freak didn't even make a game. You could beat the game in 3 hours. I can't believe it. They're so lazy. Bring back the National Dex. Oh god.
You just turn it on and turn it back off. Like, you could finish it for yourself, like, you know, not even be done.
Boom.
Theoretically.
Those are
But yeah, I
facts.
played The Taurus. It was fun. It was good. And it also is very primed for a sequel. And I have not played a whole lot more Pokemon Sword and Shield because I haven't had a whole lot of time for that yet. But this weekend, I'm going to have so much time for it. because it's Thanksgiving.
True. What
there you
badge
go.
are you on?
3.
How many Pokemans do you have?
96.
That's so
What?
many.
Are you
Hot
serious?
dang.
I don't know, maybe not. Like 76, 96. I think 96.
I was the same way. I literally, before the first gym, I had put in 14 hours.
Yeah.
And then my wife turns to me and just goes, what? Like, play the game. And I'm like, I am playing the game.
I think I am going to do that. Like, just go ahead and finish, like, start not beelining it really, but at this point, like, just play through it normally and then come back and do all the other stuff. Because otherwise, the way that I normally play games, like, I mean, I've said it on here before a million times, but like I got all 120 shrines in Breath of the Wild before I went and beat Ganon. Like if I try to do that with this, that's not going to go over very well. And I'll be here a million years and won't have any idea what we're talking about like end game stuff.
Yeah. There are also some things that are directly locked until like
That's true.
second parts of the game are locked behind certain story walls. And
That's a good point.
I think there's another thing with like the rarity of some Pokemon, like with the Dynamax battles and stuff like that. I think that those rarities and drop rates change after you become the champion.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, it makes more sense, I think, to just
Wait,
not
I get to
beeline.
be
Like
the
you can have
champion?
fun in the wild area and do your thing, but after a certain point, like there's going to be diminishing returns, I think.
Yeah. Well, cool. So I'm going to do that. But you guys played it and know more things than I do compared to that. So go for it.
That's true. People hear my thoughts all the time. Ian, what are your thoughts?
Pokemon game, this one, very
Monster.
good. This Pocket Monster, very good. No, like I feel like leading up to this game, Sword and Shield, there was a whole lot of backlash and a whole lot of like infighting within the Pokemon community, and you know a lot of people were kind of putting out a lot of negative energy about the game, and it definitely got me very nervous going into the game. Like I was confident it was going to be good, but I was just nervous for how people were going to receive it, right? So when I booted up the game the first night that it was out, I was just overwhelmed with like this sense of calm, like, oh no, this game is awesome. Like we have nothing to worry about. The story is great. The Pokemon designs are awesome in motion. Like it just all works together. And all these sort of disparate pieces work together perfectly to kind of make this awesome package. So the long and short of it is Pokemon good. Nothing to worry about.
And the story specifically is an interesting topic because people are all over the place on it. I'm seeing people being like, this is the worst Pokemon story ever. But like,
oh yeah, you mean people that haven't played the game?
I kind of feel the opposite though.
I feel the same way as you.
The whole point of this story is to get out of the way. It's like, oh, you're here to catch the things, dude, and beat the guys. That's why you're here. So that's what the story is about, And it's like you're a 10-year-old that literally got your Pokemon yesterday. You're supposed to be expected to save the world. I don't know about that. There's always an established champion that is always supposed to be the best Pokemon trainer ever at the time that you become a trainer. So the fact that this game takes that and says like, yeah, of course he's going to take care of everything until he's not able to. And then you're the guy that's like, oh, well, I guess I'll have to give it a shot. And then you're like, oh, shoot, I'm actually better than him, And the progression just makes a lot more sense. And it feels, and I made this analogy before when talking to somebody, I was like, this story doesn't have stakes or whatever. It's like, I think the early Thor movies aren't as good as Spider-Man Homecoming, but their stakes are a hell of a lot higher, And that's what this
the
is.
stakes is also a weird thing too. Like again, we all have to come to the table here and be like, hey, this is a Pokemon game, right?
Yeah.
You can have stakes and you can have these sort of things happening within this universe and still have air quotes stakes, right? But if you want a game that is like, oh my God, what's the name of the game? It was the Pokemon game on the GameCube.
Pokemon
Gale of
Gale of
Darkness?
Darkness? Or
Gale of
Coliseum?
Darkness, yeah. Gale of Darkness or Coliseum or whatever. Like that game should not exist, right? Like, having this weird post-apocalypse where there's like biker gangs and stuff like that, and you're playing like an angsty teenager like that. I'm sure it was an awesome game, right? But it's not the spirit of what Pokemon is, right?
Yeah,
And
it's also
even talking
kind of
about
not a Pokemon game. It's kind of like a traditional RPG with Pokemon characters.
you only have like like 40 Pokemon you can catch total, and you catch other people's Pokemon.
Yeah, it's like deciding your party members instead of it being a thing. Like deciding your party members in a limited amount of the Pokemon. It's like if Dexit was real, dude.
You want to complain about Dexit? That's a real Dexit situation. But like, here's the other thing too: is that speaking about Dexit and speaking about like people expectations versus reality, right? I feel like AJ, you've played the majority of Pokemon games, right?
All of them.
Parker, have you played every mainline Pokemon game?
I have not. I missed a few in the middle.
Okay, but like in general, you understand like what you understand that Pokemon follows a framework, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, so
quick sideline. You know what's blasphemy? Hashtag free game. Nintendo sent us Pokemon Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon, and I gave one to Parker, and Parker hasn't played it. Blasphemy, right?
Caveat
blasphemy.
Is that you gave it to me like probably like 4 or 5 months ago. So like this
That's
is also
a long time, dude.
Oh no, I'm not saying that's not a long time. I'm saying it's in like we're in the Switch era, and booting up your 3DS now is a lot harder than booting up your 3DS 3 years ago.
You know, like how they say like dog years or whatever. Dog years is like once every 7. Gamer years is like once every month you've aged 20 gamer years.
Yeah, no kidding.
You've lived a whole life in gamer years.
Accurate.
But yeah, like, and actually speaking of Pokemon Ultra Sun and Moon, right? And talking about story and stakes, literally the most stakes in a mainline Pokemon game is Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon. And again, I didn't see anybody back then who were Pokemon fans complaining there weren't any stakes back then. So what's the difference between this one and that one, right? The difference is that there's a huge influx of people coming in being like, oh man, well, I played the first 3 Pokemon and, you know, like the story was much darker and blah, blah. Again, this expectations of things that you remember from when you were a kid versus, you know, people like us who have played like, you know, smaller games and had these experiences throughout every generation. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Also, two examples of like the first game stakes were not. I mean, it's Team Rocket. Like, some bad guys are going around and stealing Pokemon. Like,
but that's the thing. That's the thing.
Which is
I think
great.
people look at what Team Rocket kind of is conceptually, but they don't look at what they actually are. Because they're like, oh, Team Rocket's a mob. You know, that's dark, dude. You're fighting a mob as a 10-year-old. Right. But then you look at Jesse and James, and you're like, all right, dude, like, come on. Like, we're really going to act like they're the mob. Like,
I mean, but then
like they're going to cut your hand off.
The other one, as far as stakes that I'm thinking of, is like, and is actually like, was well known or applauded there, that's the word, for its theme or story was like Celeste. The stakes in that game are just your own, is just anxiety and like internal stuff. Like, it's no external, like the world's gonna crumble, blah 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 blah, but it's great. So like, I don't think you need to have, you are the one saving the universe for it to be a good narrative or a good story. That said, I'm only 3 badges in, so I don't know what's at the end and I can't really speak to this one, but at least as far as like, if the stakes is the same as the scope, like that's not necessarily true, I think. I don't know.
I mean, this has been the most frustrating thing about being a Pokemon fan and kind of interacting with this influx of people that have that don't really understand what Pokemon is, or they do understand it, or they want it to be something different than what it actually is, right? This has been the most frustrating thing is, like you said before about stakes, right? Or the story not being dark enough. I'm like, oh man, you didn't like the darkness of this story. You should go play Sun and Moon. Oh no, I'm not going to play that one. Okay, well the game that you want is literally right there. It's right over here. Literally the threat, again, spoilers for Pokemon Sun and Moon. The Ultra Beasts were like essentially demonic creatures from another dimension that and there were like hundreds of them that would come through these wormholes or whatever. And like they are by far like, I think in the narrative of the story, they're like 10 times stronger than the strongest Pokemon, essentially. And they were destroying the ecosystem of like the Alolan Islands. So like, I think, oh my God, there's one that's like the dragon one that with the giant mouth. Do you know what I'm talking about? Like it's the Ultra Beast with like this giant wormhole in its stomach or something.
Yeah, I think I know what you're talking about.
Yeah,
I don't know what it's called, but I know what you're talking about.
I can't remember, but essentially it was saying
that confusing
like,
with the Ultra Beast. They give them both a name and a number.
Yeah, so it's like UB006 or something. Yeah. So like, anyway, long story short, all of those Ultra Beasts were like essentially cockroaches or bugs or like invasive species, and they were going to destroy the ecosystem of the island. So pretty much if you had not been there to intervene, or if you as a group didn't do anything and stop the plans that were happening, then all of Alola is gone. Just imagine all of Hawaii just sunk, essentially. That's a really intense narrative for a Pokemon game, but people don't want to acknowledge that as one of the games that they didn't play. So, I don't know. It's frustrating for sure.
It's like, for me, it's frustrating because half our channel, and this is no exaggeration, is me being like, yo, Game Freak, like, you got it, man. You got Pokemon. This is like the most important franchise, dude. Make it a bigger deal. people coming out of the woodwork just because of that one little spark of like the whole Dexit situation, and then all of a sudden everything in Pokemon is bad because they took out some Pokemon.
Oh man, the frame rate. Oh god, you see this, the clipping. Oh man, this, that, the third. I'm like, guys, you don't understand what Pokemon is if this is what you're
they're like,
about.
I can't catch a side up, so I'm upset that they didn't reanimate everything, dude. It's just like so frustrating. And also,
I'm
it's just
also
because like
empathetic to that situation though. Like if I don't have a favorite Pokemon, and I think that maybe this is like a testament to the type of player that I am, and I don't know how Parker or you are, but like when a new Pokemon game comes out, I have a new favorite Pokemon, right? Like I have a Pokemon that I like from every generation, right? I'm not like, oh man, I'm a ride or die Squirtle fan. I'm like, oh yeah, if Squirtle's there, I'll use him or whatever.
It's funny that you bring up Squirtle.
But like in X and Y, Squirtle was a Pokemon you could use. And I was like, oh, rad. I'll use Squirtle until it evolves into Blastoise, and then it's going in the box where it belongs. Because this is...
You know what? You know what?
Oh, blasphemy. And
I'm saying I love that Pokemon, but if I want to go and play Blastoise, I'll go back to Pokemon Red or Fire Red.
No,
you know what I'm going to use for this Pokemon game? Greninja or Chestnut or any of the ones from that generation, right? And that's how
exactly
I play.
how I approach this game. And I do have a favorite Pokemon. My favorite Pokemon is Charizard.
I'm sorry about that.
First of all, how dare you?
Charizard is just a big lizard, and Blastoise is a turtle with guns. Like
he's a turtle that found some PVC pipes and glued them to his shell.
Guns.
We can talk about how Charizard is a symbol for the previous generation in this game. Actually, even talk about story beats and everything like that. Charizard being the symbol for those who are attached to the previous generation as a plot.
See, but that's not even true in my case. I just think Charizard's cool.
No, I know, not to you, but I'm saying that like in this. So here's the thing as well. Rewinding back to the story stuff, right? This game definitely is very self-aware of the people that are playing it, and I think that they do a lot of things with characters, and they do a lot of things with the Pokemon that these certain characters use as a like plot device, right? It's not surprising to me that the champion of this game thinks that he's the best and that no one can beat him and taunts everyone around him saying, no one will beat me. I am the best ever. And it just so happens that he wears a suit that has the colors of red and blue on it. And he has a Charizard. And then when you beat his ass, you're like, yes, I am the best now. This is the best Pokemon is going to be. And he's like, well, good golly, I'm glad you beat me or whatever, right? If that isn't directly a symbol of Game Freak being like, guys, we've made more games since Red and Blue, and if you don't acknowledge that, we're going to make a story part of it, and you have to destroy the past so that you can move on. Like,
and you know what is funny about that? I can't stand Leon. Like, that was even before I put that. Exactly. Before I even put that together. I was like, this guy sucks, dude. And I can't. And it's funny because like the people that think like that also don't like him, but don't know why. Like, so it's just like, it's a crazy situation. But yeah, I approached it the same way. There's Pokemon that I like from past generations. There's Pokemon that I caught before I finished the game that are from past generations that I was like, I'm not using you. Yeah. I'm not even going to use them to evolve them until I beat the game because I want to use the new Pokemon. I play new Pokemon games to see the new Pokemon.
The funny thing is because I missed gens 5, 6, and 7.
How dare you?
I know. I didn't know what all. Like sometimes I'll run into a Pokemon. I'd be like, "Oh, this guy's new," and like I'll have to go and check and be like, "No, he's not new." So then I'll like go stick him in my other box because I'm trying to do the same thing of just like use just the Galar Dex just because I don't know, it's fun. And then I'll go back through and complete the decks with everybody else. But it's funny that I have to check that because sometimes I'll be like, all right, you're going to be a good addition. And nope. Not the
thing is with you, Parker, the thing about you, Parker, is that like with me and AJ, like I feel like, I'm not going to speak for AJ, but like with me, I use new Pokemon because I'm like, oh man, like they had their chance, I guess we'll say. Right. Like, yeah. And for 9 out of 10 times, especially with the Pokemon games that kind of allow you to ramp your teams up quicker, like with Pokemon Sun and Moon with getting XP share so early, and then also this game with having XP share so early. I had like 2 or 3 full teams in Sun and Moon.
Yep.
And like that is not to that game's detriment, it's to that game's benefit, right? Exactly. Where I was able to kind of go around and play tons of different Pokemon that I more normally would have never used. Like oh my gosh, what's the name of the evolution of Mudbray. There's a ground horse.
Mudsdale.
Mudsdale, there we go. Yeah. Your brain was like not allowing you to say it. You're like Dale. Oh no, it's not. Oh no, I don't remember the name. No, but yeah, I would have never used Mudsdale if it wasn't for that XP share thing. But you know what? The end of that game, my Mudsdale was by far the strongest Pokemon on my team, stronger than my starter even. So like, the thing is about not using these older Pokemon for me is that like, oh man, I've already have like a level 80, 90 Mudsdale back in Sun and Moon. Whenever I can transfer those ones over, I'll use them. But for you, I think the cool thing about your situation is that you see a new Pokemon, it's new to you.
Yeah,
Right.
100%.
You know what I mean? You can use it. You know what I mean? I don't, because I had the same conversation with Alex Van Aken too.
Yeah, the only reason I think I'm limiting myself with it is so that it can keep pushing me forward. Because otherwise, I'd just be like, I'm just going to evolve this one. You know, like try to spread myself too thin around all of them too early on, which is just ends up taking a lot of time, which already is an issue, it seems like, for me. So yeah. But no, I mean, totally. It will be fun to be able to go back, and even though I've seen most of these Pokemon around other places, some of them I'm like, you weren't really popular enough to for me to just happen upon it somewhere. So yeah, it's been fun.
There you go.
Et cetera, et cetera. But speaking of the Galar Dex, we've got a thing that we're going to do. And it's going to be fun. Long story short is we're going to rank all of the Pokemon in the Galar Dex, or all the Gen 8 Pokemon, and see which ones are the best and which ones suck.
Yeah, I specifically was like, because we wanted to change this episode because Thanksgiving, we're recording it significantly earlier than we usually would.
It's
and we wanted to do
today.
one fun, cool thing. And I was like, wait, we're going to have Ian from OK Beast on here. They have a whole podcast about ranking things. Ian's their Pokemon guy. We're both Pokemon guys. We usually have like pretty similar opinions, so I think it would be fun to rank them and have the list of the best Galar Pokemon, and you could try to fight it, but you're probably wrong.
But you know, you can try and fight it, but this is pre-recorded, so you can't do anything. It's funny that you mentioned that, AJ, because I was thinking back to like one of the first times we've ever interacted online, and I think it was you posted something. Because I followed you from like interactions with Blessing and stuff like that. Another person from OK Beast, and then
who's been on this podcast.
Yeah, shout out to him. And I think that he reposted your thing about the original Pokemon starters or whatever, and ranking all the starters throughout. And I put my list was completely different from yours, and you were like, you know what, man, your list is different, but I respect your opinion. However, putting Charizard here is blasphemy, and I hate you. And I was like, that's fair. You know, that's fair. But before we get into the list, though, can I ask y'all a quick question?
Go for it.
What's up?
So I posted something online yesterday on Twitter about, I was doing it mainly as a meme, as a joke, but then the more I thought about it, the more real it became in my head. Have you guys finished Persona 5?
No.
Have y'all played Persona 5?
Nope.
I've seen it being played.
Okay. So Persona 5, long story short, is Pokemon for teens.
Right.
Pretty much. Just replace the Pokemon with demons, and that's pretty much Persona. So I posted on Twitter saying Persona 5 story or Pokemon Sword and Shield has a better story than Persona 5. And that got many people very frustrated. We'll probably get into it more down the road if we talk about the story again throughout this podcast. But the thing that I wanted to say before we move on to the next thing is that Pokemon Sword and Shield is self-aware, it's awesome, and it knows not only the audience it's talking to, both as kids, but also as adults, right? A huge theme in the game, even from the third gym, Parker, is all about generation to generation, right?
Yeah.
It's like giving up the past or the older version of the thing so that the new thing can kind of succeed, and then the success that comes from that will be something beautiful. That's like a huge theme of this game, and that alone, the execution of that story is amazing, and I wanted to see if AJ agrees.
Yeah, I agree with that. And I think that there's kind of veering away from that a little bit. There's always something like that in Pokemon that people don't catch on to. I yesterday put out a video about how to build a competitive team. And there's a lot of layers to doing that. Pretty much everybody that commented on the video was like this is way more complicated than I thought it was. And that's the same thing with this. People aren't going to latch on to these themes. They're not thinking about that. They're just saying like, oh, like, but where's the bad guy that's just purely a bad guy that I can feel good about beating because he's just bad, you know? Like there's no like undertones or anything like that that they key into. So it's good that you brought that up, and the fact that like theme that like permeates through the experience because people aren't thinking about it.
When you try and explain to the average person what an IV and an EV is, you like that is the quickest way for someone to just turn around and walk away from you. Like, I was trying to explain it to my buddy, Nick. And he's like, Ian, what Pokemon should I choose? And then like the code activated. It was like my activation code was like set into effect. I was like, well, you see, there's IVs and EVs, and IVs you get from inherited values, and then EVs is earned values, and you do that, and every Pokemon you beat is a different thing. And he's just like, Ian, wake up, hello, Ian, come back. And I was like, oh, I'm sorry, I went to the void. I mean, choose whatever you want, man. Pokemon's all about friendship. And he's like, oh, okay, good, I guess. So I'm glad someone feels the same way about like the hidden depth of the story and also the mechanics in the game, AG.
Yeah, it's so ironic because people are like, Pokemon's too simple. And then you're like, but this though. And they're like, oh, it's too complicated. I don't want to get into that.
Okay. You hit the nail directly in the center of its head is that people want, oh man, I want red and blue. I want the old thing. It's so simple. But then they play these ones. They're like, oh man, the game's so easy. I didn't lose the whole time. I'm like, all right, if you didn't do that, then don't use items. All right, don't use set mode. All right, do max raid battles right now.
Yeah.
All right, go to the wild area here.
That was the thing. So Blessing was streaming this game, and he was like talking about that, where he was like, "Yeah, this game's pretty easy." And I was like, for what it's worth, you can make it a little harder. By not being on shift and changing the set.
I mean that, and also just.
I didn't even know that was a thing.
Especially with this one, it makes it easy to, because since you level up by catching stuff, if you're going to go around and catch stuff, and like with the XP share and stuff like that, you can probably accidentally grind more than you normally would accidentally grind, I guess. But usually I think people just grind a lot. So it's like, yeah, it's super easy if you just play like I do and you're over leveled and you just one hit KO everybody, or whatever, which like I am aware that that's the way that I play these games.
Also, I think that's kind of missing the point.
Right. Because different Pokemon.
Exactly. They put that in there to make it easier to level multiple teams.
Yes.
Not just the one set of guys that you got. And that's the trap that a lot of people fall into too.
Yeah, and man, the way you said is that you're missing the point is totally the thing. Is that we talked before about the rotating teams, right? That this XP share is not so that you get to level 100 by the 4th gym. It's that you see a cool Pokemon and you're like, oh wait, this Pokemon's cool. Maybe I'll use this one. And then you swap it in, and guess what? You don't need to grind for 8 hours for you to get to the next gym. You have the XP candies, or you have XP share or whatever. And guess what? The second you get this Pokemon, it is now usable in whichever way you want to.
I mean, it's kind of like, I imagine that the whole Magikarp Gyarados thing in Gen 1 was like, where like, he can't do anything up until level 15, and then suddenly he gets tackle and all that. Like, you had to level him up a really annoying way. I imagine that back then having one or two Pokemon like that was a cool mechanic, where it's like, oh, this one, he seems like he's crap. Turns out he's actually great in the end, or something like that. But then now, 8 generations later, that's kind of tired or whatever, to where if the earlier evolutions of the Pokemon aren't very good, then by the time, then like getting to level them up by switching them out or not having XP share on would be super lame, in my opinion.
I mean, even with what's his name? The Dreepy, I think, which is this game's version of like Dragonair, that's the legendary dragon line. Like, my wife, who's also playing the game, she was using that Pokemon and named it Wasabi. Amazing name, beautiful name. My wife's a genius. So she's using him, and he's like, oh no, the Pokemon's kind of weak. And she had been doing max raid battles. So I said, oh, baby, just like give him the candy. And she goes, what's the candy gonna do? I'm like, oh, it'll just make them level up. And then she was like so paranoid. She's like, no, but it'll make them weak, like rare candies. I'm like, how? It doesn't work like that. Like, it's fine. Just give them, like, once they level up, it'll be fine. Because again, like kind of what we were saying, mechanically, this game adds tons of things at the end so that you can hyper train. You can give the Pokemon certain stats, and you can change their nature, and like all these sort of things after the fact, where you don't need to worry about all these sort of obfuscated things to get to the fun part, right? Like that Gyarados Magikarp mechanic. Sorry for going way off the path here, but
that's fine. I hoped for this.
I do a podcast with two dudes who don't know a Gyarados from a Gold Dex, so I'm sitting here like, finally someone who knows Pokemon I can like talk shop with. So
yeah, for sure. I can't speak to that because Parker knows his stuff, not as much, but he knows his stuff. So I can't. We talk Pokemon pretty often, but we don't get this deep, and I'm liking it. I like it.
Indeed.
What you sign up for with me?
There you go.
Yes. So the ranking of this list.
The Galar Dex. Do we just want to go? We didn't quite talk about this, but are we just going
I just think we go left to right and then down and then left to right and then down and then left to right.
Sounds good. They're kind of in a random order here.
Yes, they are, which is unfortunate, but it was the only list that I could find.
I've also got the just list of just Gen 8's Pokemon, but they're not in, they don't have the ranking thing. So, all right, yeah, let's just do it like this. All right, number 1, Surfetched.
Yeah, the first Pokemon, Surfetched.
Surfetched here. Let me pull up my list here because I've made my own list here.
Good job, I'm proud
Let's
of
see,
you.
where does Surfetched go on my list? Where is he? Surfetched goes for me. He goes in A tier.
I have no objections with that.
Yeah. My only frustration is that after seeing Galarian Farfetch'd with the giant leak over his head, kind of like Cloud Strife, I was hoping for more of a bastard sword or a samurai feel to it or something.
Yeah, instead of like a lance.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting. I like it, but like the way he was holding the leak from his previous evolution, I was like, oh man, are they going to make it a thing where... So we've had like Galarian forms, right, which are the British inspirations. I thought this is going to be almost like a reverse Galarian form where like Farfetch normally comes from Kanto, like maintains its Kantoian roots and is able to grow past its limitations by carrying a larger leak. And I thought it was going to be like almost like a Ronin, like a samurai, this situation where he holds the leak behind him like this and then dashes forward, and it was more like that. But again, I'm not mad about it. I just have small changes I would make.
Yeah, I think we could put Surfetched in A tier. Any objections, Parker?
No objections from me.
Okay.
Next up, Applin.
Okay, I'm conflicted on this.
Apple, this is the baby apple, right?
Yes, because I like the concept of this entire line because it's so dumb, but also it's so dumb. So like, I think that means it's like top, like highest
hard.
B, but probably C tier.
So here's where we really differentiate. I'm going to do a little peek behind the curtain here. I've added 2 layers above our S to D ranking. I've added God tier above S, and I have added Sin tier below D. So,
And did you put him below D?
No, I actually put him at S because I've also changed S to S/baby because this game more than any other game has the best first form / baby Pokemon of any game. And just the idea of having a tiny little worm Pokemon inside of an apple is adorable
also a dragon.
to me. That is also a dragon is adorable to me. And also when I noticed that the yellow markings on the bottom of the apple were teeth, I was like, okay, this is genius. There's like small little like flares to it that are really adorable. And it just made me fall in love with this Pokemon.
Okay, so I haven't seen this Pokemon in game at all. Also, I'm going to be more just like hosting this part of it because a lot of these Pokemon I just haven't seen in game yet. So explain to me. So the Pokemon itself is the worm that's inside of this apple.
Yes.
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 Okay.
So the whole lore, I think, in the Pokedex is that like when this Pokemon is like a baby, it crawls inside of an apple, and the type of apple that it lives inside of changes the form that it can take when it evolves. There's like the it's the sweet apple and the tart apple, I think is what it's called.
Yeah, the fancy apple's a curry ingredient.
Yeah, I was like, there's too many apples in this game, man.
Yes.
So yeah, and the green things on top where the leaves would be, those are its eyes, and then the green tail on the back is like its body. And it's supposed to be like, I guess, a joke off of like, you know, a worm in the apple that you give to your teacher or whatever. Pretty bad typing overall. Grass Dragon times 4 dice. It's not so great, but the rest of its resistances are really strong.
Right.
And I'm glad we're talking about this Pokemon now because I'm in the middle of before this podcast. I think like an hour before the podcast, I was doing a Gigantamax battle with the Gigantamax version of this Pokemon, and I am using a level 70 ice Pokemon that is spec'd out to be all special attack everything. And this max raid battle is the hardest Pokemon thing that has ever existed. I'm telling you right now. Like, what's his name? Not Morimoto. The main creator of this game who was saying, like, you will need other people to help you. He wasn't lying. This is the hardest Pokemon has ever been.
You're talking about Omori?
Omori, yeah, he's like, oh man, level 5 raids will be very challenging and you'll need other people and you can't rely on the PCs. I was like, whatever, Omori.
I don't have one of those, so Ian.
So I'm using a level 70 Frostmoth, which is an extremely strong ice bug Pokemon, and for context, in Gigantamax battles or in max raid battles at that level, the Pokemon will change all of your stat changes back to 0, like twice or 3 times a battle, and also they will summon shields. At the lower levels, there will be 3 hits, right? So if you do a super effective move against it, it takes 2 away. At the Gigantamax level, level 5 or 4, they are 9 hits, and they can do it twice in a battle. And
it's wild because I just discovered that they can replenish their shields yesterday.
Oh, I didn't know that.
What, dude? I was like, what?
Yeah. So,
but I think
AJ,
it's
I would
also
need to
because
recruit you to beat this giant dragon.
yes, because I need one of those. Okay, Parker, you gotta help us settle it just aesthetically. Where do you think it belongs between? I'll say B. I'll give B because I like it. But I also think it's kind of stupid looking.
I like its evolutions and the theory behind it. It in and of itself, I'd probably go B as well for Apple in and of itself.
Okay, so we'll put it in A. We'll put it in A.
That's fair.
For the happy medium.
Good job. Again,
there it is.
I'm going to tell you right now, spoiler alert for my list, all the baby Pokemon are in S because they're all adorable children and they're just
I'll probably
the cutest.
agree with most of that, but just for the sake of simplicity, I want to go left to right and down, so we're not jumping all over the place to look for the Pokemon.
Sense. It makes sense.
So the next thing is freaking Galarian Darmanitan.
And is that the baby version or the?
It's the big boy.
With the afro?
Yeah, the afro mustached bearded man.
So I put it in A. I'm willing to go as low as C because I agree that it's a little bit goofy. I haven't caught it yet, and it's just a little silly.
I think we could put it in C, Parker.
I'd go B just from initial impressions, but I don't know.
Also, the Zen mode is pretty rad.
I haven't seen that yet. I'll put it in B.
Okay, boom.
Cool. B
All
it
right.
is.
I don't remember how to pronounce this fishy boy's name. What is it?
This was Barrascuda. Yeah.
Barrascuda.
I have Barrascuda, and that's the evolved form or the baby form?
Evolved form of Arrokuda.
I put that down here in C.
Yeah, I'm down with that.
Seems
it's
good.
A fish.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
I am definitely not one of those people who is like, oh man, Pokemon are just animals now. But guys, but if that tail didn't move in a circle, this a fish. So
I mean, I don't really like the way it looks. I don't really care about that. It's just a blank because that's half of the Kanto Dex, you know?
Yeah. Like Ditto's just strawberry yogurt, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
also, Farfetch is just a bird with a leek in his hand.
That's
Pidgey's
true.
just a bird.
That's true.
Rattata's just a purple rat.
That's true.
Most of them are
that's
just
wild about the Rattata thing. I was like, yo, it's just a color change. That's okay. Wow.
They just dumped Mickey Mouse in grape juice. That's all they did.
Pretty much.
Okay. The Darumaka, I think that's how you say him. The baby version of Darmanitan. I'm okay with putting this in S.
S for S, aka baby tier, has its new participant.
I am down with putting that in there.
Yep.
The Sizzlepede evolution. I don't remember.
Centiscorch.
Ooh, Centiscorch. I put in A. So okay, here's the thing. So not only does it have the mustache, which aesthetically is pretty interesting to me, the Japanese character for fire, I think it also with the face and the tail, it makes the character for fire, which is heat. So I think aesthetically with that, it's pretty rad. I think that its Gigantamax form is also really, really cool. And again, usually I'm not a bug type Pokemon trainer, but this game's bugs specifically have aesthetic flair to them that I really appreciate. And this juxtaposed with Frostmoth, the moth Pokemon, I think they have a cool little pairing together. So I put it in A.
Nice.
I'm down with putting it in A. I think he looks like Mushu when he died. Man, freaking Gigantamax.
Yeah, I can definitely see
I
that.
can put him in A. I'll put him in A.
Cool.
Also, this is not ordered. I'm just putting them in the tier, and I guess we can mess with ordering it later if we have time. Next Pokemon, Cinderace. I don't like it that much. I'll just come out and say I will put it in C at the highest because he looks like the Nutcracker, and I can't unsee it.
I put him in B, but I'm also willing to put him in C. And I'm glad that we agree on this. And I've said this on the podcast, on our podcast, the OKB's podcast, that this generation's starters are by far the weakest of any generation.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
I
would
agree with
say.
that. There's like some, but like I probably like the starters more than like the first evolutions more than like Turtwig.
Yes,
But, like,
yes. So that's the one. The opposition is that the first form, aka the baby form, which is why the baby list for me is so big, is that those first evolutions are so strong and like their personalities are so great, but like there's something just lost in Cinderace and in my opinion in Teleon. Where
I have complicated. I like Inteleon because I like the theming and I like his animations and but like I don't know, something about him.
Yep.
Yeah,
That, like
it
I
looks
wouldn't put
goofy.
an S.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't. I'd probably give Inteleon a B, but we'll fight about that later.
But like, here's the thing too about Cinderace that really bothers me is that so Pokemon in general, and I want your opinions on this, AJ, is that the thing about Pokemon evolutions is that it is an evolution. Things build
Yes.
off of each other, right? So if I
Right.
look at Charizard and I look at Charmander, I'm like, oh, I can see it. If I look at Charmander and then I look at Charmeleon, I'm like, oh, I can see it, right? And like there is a rational sort of evolution to designs from A to B, right?
Yeah.
With Cinderace, if I look at Cinderace and then I look at Scorbunny, I'm like, what happened? And then I look at what's his name? What's the second evolution?
Of Sobble or
No, of Cinderace.
Raboot. Raboot.
Yeah, so Raboot, I get Raboot from.
He's just
from-
Sasuke. He's just Sasuke.
Well, here's the thing too: is that okay? So Scorbunny, no pants, and then Raboot, pants and a sweatshirt, and then
Yeah.
Cinderace, half pants. I'm like, where did the top half of his pants go? Like, that's the thing is that like, and I've talked to a lot of designer friends of mine as to like trying to like kind of boil down my thoughts as to why I don't like these designs. I like them individually, right? But even if you look at just Raboot to Cinderace, why did his ears start going up? And then second form go down, and then third form
And
go
then
back
shoot
up.
back up. Yeah.
And then why did he lose the coloration on the top part of his ears and then gain them in the hat? Where did the headband go? Where did the nose thing go? It's again, these things just seem to be mixing and matching, and like there's not really any sort of direct connection with them, right?
Yep.
And
Yeah.
that's the most frustrating thing. Even with mega evolutions, you could see, oh, I get it. So Charizard is a flying type, so he really embraces the flying type, and then his wings get bigger or something like that. Whereas with Inteleon and Sizzle or Drizzle and what's his name, like the fire and water versions of this
Thwackey,
generation.
yeah.
Well, I mean, Thwackey, I'm like half and half on, but
I
like
don't like Thwackey at all. He's just literally a banana.
he's got like a weird color scheme for sure. But what I'm saying is, I get the evolution from Thwackey to Grookey
Yeah.
and then from Thwackey to Rillaboom way
I
more
think
than the
his
other
is
three.
the most consistent out of
Yeah.
the three in terms
Exactly.
of like.
And that's why he's the
Theming
best.
or- yeah.
And like that's why I have his
I don't know
Rillaboom.
about that.
Well,
I think Rillaboom is no question the best looking third evolution. I think
100%.
Thwackey looks really stupid and Grookey's acceptable.
I mean, we'll go into it later, but I wanted to get those thoughts out there because I tried to say this to Blessing and Alex, and then they started to drool
They're like,
and their
"What?"
eyes widened
Yeah.
over, and they were like, I was like, whatever, man, Pokemon's good. And then that
Okay,
was the end of the
Cinderace
conversation.
in C, right?
Cinderace is
C.
in C. Yes.
Yeah.
All right.
C for Cinderace.
There we go. Corviknight.
Corviknight is S tier. S-
Agreed.
Yes. Okay. All right. Okay. I'm down with that, Parker. Any objections?
Not
I
at
thought
all.
we were going to have to
Full
fight for a second.
agreement.
I didn't know.
No,
Yeah. Go for it, Parker.
I thought Corviknight was real cool when it was first announced, and then I mean I said this before on the podcast, but when I found Rookidee, I was like, this dude's dope. I like him a lot. And then as soon as he evolved into Corvisquire, and I realized that it was the same line
Yeah.
both directions, I was thrilled.
Yes.
You were
Same.
thrillaboomed.
I was thrilled.
But
Of course.
the thing is with bird Pokemon, I always get nervous because like, how can we outdo birds, man? We've done birds
Yeah.
for so many years. And then we had Toucanon from Sun and Moon, and I was like, oh, an angry grandpa toucan that has the word cannon in it. This man has a gun in his name. All right, we'll never beat Toucanon. We'll never beat the angry grandpa bird. And then Corviknight came, and I was like, oh no, we beat the angry grandpa bird. And then I saw his
But shout out to
Gigantamax form.
Toucanon because his signature attack is dope. Like,
What is it called again?
It's like burn beak or something like that.
It's something wild, yeah.
Yeah, and it burns you, and that's dope.
As a flying type Pokemon, that's rad as hell. But
Yeah.
have you seen the Gigantamax form yet, Parker?
Yeah.
Nope.
So I'm not
Wait,
gonna.
have you not? It's in one of the trailers.
Oh, of Corviknight, I was thinking of. Yeah, I think so.
The thing that's metal
I didn't
as
look
hell
close
about
enough.
it is that it doesn't fly; it floats.
Oh.
Like Corviknight flaps its
Yeah.
wings. a Gigantamax version just angrily stares at you and goes back and forth, and that's the most intimidating thing that I've ever seen in a Pokemon game.
That's great.
So, yeah.
I agree.
But yeah, S tier 100%.
Okay, Cursula. I don't have a lower tier, but I want to put it in as lowest a tier as I can possibly put.
Okay, wait. So this is not Galarian Corsola, but Cursula.
No, yeah, Cursula.
So I put it at A just because. So just the concept of it. Again, the whole theme of this game underlying sort of the taking the flag from Sun and Moon and kind of furthering that whole like naturalism versus industrialism concept and taking a Pokemon we haven't seen for a while and then giving it a whole new form and kind of giving it this like sort of sad backstory. I thought that with that in mind, I thought it was interesting. But again, I agree it doesn't deserve to be like an S tier or God tier, as I call it.
See, this is the thing. This is why like a lot of my opinions are going to be middled out here because like this tier list, I'm mostly just looking at it and saying I think that one looks dumb. I'm not even really thinking about
visually?
like the backstory and all that stuff.
Yeah,
but
I don't know much about this one.
I definitely am taking that into account when you bring it up. I don't know. I'm not putting it in S. I'm sorry.
So this is the first time I've ever
Agreed.
seen it, and I like knowing like backstory and stuff. It definitely helps, but look wise, it looks not good.
Yeah. So then I mean, again, I'm cool with it going in C or B, but like I think that the way that they took this design and
we could put it in C for Cursula.
Hey, you know what? This is how we did it with the Smash tier list. Is that hey? What was it? It was like B for like the name of the character. So yes, I'm fine with this. This lore, the lore of the list, it makes sense.
Right.
Yeah, I do. I like the idea behind it. Then is cool in that sense, but yeah, it just the face, especially in it, like the way they made it. You know, the face looks like just kind of glued on.
Spoilers. Galarian Corsola going to be higher than that. Spoilers.
Yeah, agreed.
So we're breaking the rules there. Dreadnought.
More
interested
like
to hear your
no.
thoughts. Okay. No, just Dreadnought. You could just literally just
it
do
already
that.
had it in the name. I don't know. I mean, I'm of two minds. I love turtles just in general. I'm a fan of turtles in the real world. Love water type Pokemon. But the fact that this is one of the 2 water Pokemon we got, and it's rock type, and it's ×4 weak to grass. Hey, bud, you're bad in battles. You go in C. That is the highest I'm willing to go with Dreadnought.
I put him in D. I put him in D for Dreadnought.
Ooh, or whoa, it's true. D for Dreadnought. Or, as I wrote in mine, D for don't. As in don't ever, please.
All right. Galarian Linoon. Okay, so this whole line, spoilers, I think I'm putting it, like, I'm not willing to put it anywhere lower than B because it made me actually want to catch one of these and put it on my team. Because, like, regular Zigzagoon and, like, that line, no.
Right.
You stay in the box. You're the Rattata of this generation.
Pretty much.
But the Galarian forms is Gene Simmons. So, like, sure, dude.
That's cool.
Like, yes. So where are we putting it? A? S?
I said B for Linoon and then A for Zigzagoon.
Okay.
Yep, I'm good with that.
There it is.
Does my tier list not have Obstagoon on here?
How dare you?
It should be on there somewhere.
I lied. It's here. Cool. I was really nervous. I was like, no, my boy.
Okay. More Pekka.
More.
I like it, but it's just Pikachu again. So like, I think we gotta. I think we kind of gotta dodge it for that.
How dare you?
I'm not saying we put it in C or D or anything like that.
Can I tell you the lore?
Go for it.
Okay. So here's the thing. You and I both know. Let's just cut through all the chaff here. There's gonna be a Pikachu in every generation.
Yeah, I was about to ask. There hasn't been one without one, right?
Right.
What are your thoughts on Plusle and Minun?
Yeah,
I'll tell you my thoughts about them. I want none of them. Okay, that's what I'm saying. They're bad.
I think if we're gonna all right. I'll give you this. If we're ranking the Pikachus, this one's pretty high. I would say like amongst the Pikachus, I would put it in like 2nd or 3rd place.
What's your 3rd place or 2nd place? What is it? Because this is number 2 for me. If Pikachu never gets dethroned,
probably Mimikyu.
Mimikyu isn't a Pikachu. Get out of here.
Yes, it is, dude.
Get out of here.
It is.
It
is.
Mimikyu is a cosmic horror sent from hell to kill us all. Okay, that's not a Pikachu, man.
Same thing. Same thing. If you ask me, you know,
Touché.
Pikachu has a dark soul.
That is also true. So here's the thing. I'll tell you the little lore behind it. First thing, this Pokemon is the only Pokemon to learn a move called Aura Wheel. It's literally just a hamster ball as a move. That's beautiful. And it changes the type of the move based off of the mode it's in. So if it's in full belly mode and happy, it's electric. If it's angry or hangry mode, it's dark type. That's
which is just every other turn, right?
Yeah, it's every other turn, I think. Yeah. So that's awesome.
Hangry mode is enough to put it in the A tier for me. When I said I didn't want to put it high, I meant I don't want to put it in S. Because it's just Pikachu again. I can't put just Pikachu. I can't put a clone in S. I can't.
So here's the thing. I would agree with you, but if you look at its art, its primary art, it's got a little snack coming from its pocket, and it's giving it to you. And he's like, "Hey man, I got a snack." I'm like, "Hey, wow, how nice of you. Thank you, Morpeko. I love you."
Counterpoint. That's bribery, and we don't accept bribes for the official directly to you.
Counterpoint. In Japanese, again. So I don't know, Parker. How much do you know about me? AJ, how much do you know about me?
I know you used to live in Japan.
I did.
Yes.
I know you used to live in Japan.
Your wife is Japanese.
Boom.
And know that your wife is Japanese.
Boom. There you go. Also, I went to Japanese language school for a year, so I know Japanese. A little deep lore of me. So peko in Japanese means that you're like hungry, or like you wouldn't
like
ever
peckish?
say exactly like you're peckish. Exactly. But peko is like like you're with your friends, you'd say like, "Oh, I'm like peko this." Like I want a little bit of a snack. So literally, this Pokemon's name is More Snacks. You can't tell me that More Snacks, the Pokemon, doesn't get S for more snacks. Like it's unfair.
Okay, you know what? As for snacks, it's fine. All right, as for snacks, but
that is the hill I will die on.
Even though this isn't ordered, just know. Tangentially that this is low S. This is like S minus.
But like, look at him, man. He's just giving you a snack. Like, imagine that tiny little circle is your favorite snack. Like, if a tiny Pikachu came up to me and was like, "Hey, you want to cheese it?" I'd be like, "Yeah." And then
you go to reach for it, it
Pokemon
gets into hangry mode and obliterates you.
And you know what?
Okay.
I deserve it. Also, this Pokemon is just my wife as a Pokemon, which also makes me very happy. So, moving on past the more snacks.
Cramorant.
D for don't, as in don't do this Pokemon.
See, I agree, but at the same time, you know how I said I like Applin because he's so dumb that I kind of like it? I think Cramorant kind of has a little bit of that energy.
Fully agree.
I'll fight for C. I'll fight for C for Cramorant.
So I'm going to tell you a story about a young man named Ian Preschel. He was born in New Jersey, and he loved the water. So he was like, "Oh, hey, I love water Pokemon, and I love playing water Pokemon exclusively," to the point where in like 3 out of the 7 or 8 or 9 games that came out, I literally would always choose water, and I would only have water Pokemon on my team. Cut to this horrific generation we're in, this sin of a generation, where we have this sin turtle, which is useless, and then we have literally just a bird. Like, birds in the real world are blue and dive down. This is a real bird.
But can real birds eat Pikachu?
Yes. There are tons of birds that eat mice. Literally, it's like half of what birds
Pikachu.
do.
Pikachu is a giant mouse.
I will give it the highest I am willing to give it above D for don't is C for come on.
That's what I said. C for Cramorant, dude.
But again, there are many Pokemon hills I must die on. And I'm telling you that the fact that, forget the national Dex argument. Bring back water Dex. I want Pokemon with more water types. I'm so insulted as a Pokemon fan of this generation.
Hashtag, you know what? Counterpoint. Hashtag too much water.
Hashtag too much water. We did it. We've done all the memes of the Pokemon community.
We got there. So C for Cramorant.
You know what's crazy? That too much water thing is that, wow, Pokemon fans have been insufferable since Pokemon Ruby and Sapphire. Isn't that great?
Before that, but okay.
Isn't that beautiful?
Roly-Coly.
I don't know, man. I'm of two minds with this Pokemon too. It's kind of dumb, but I like it. But I put it in D for don't because it's got legs, but it's a wheel.
I'm cool with that. I'm cool with D for don't.
D for don't. What about you, Parker? Have you seen?
I have seen many Roly-Coly. I like the idea of it. I'd probably put it in C personally.
I'm just kind of mad that it doesn't keep that wheel aesthetic. Like, I'm telling you right now, if this final evolution was a motorcycle, I would be like, oh, okay.
Well, so I'm imagining it as Pokemon. Well, I guess no, because it's just a pile of coal in the other ones.
Why can't it just be a coal train? Make it a train.
Yeah.
Oh, no. Now I hate Colossal. Like, what if its Gigantamax form was just a massive train?
Yeah.
And its cry was choo choo. And now I'm really mad that we don't have Thomas the Tank Engine as this Pokemon.
So when I looked at this, I didn't actually see a wheel so much as like
just a blob,
like a
of
coal furnace. So like, as in, it's just like a small, I don't know, like a smoking thing, and then there's a little hole in the front that you can see, you know, that kind of thing. So then it's just like growing out of that sort of a deal, or I don't know, maybe not.
I mean, I see it for sure. Again, I'm of two minds because I've literally trained one of these roly-poly from like level 6, so I can't really say that much about it because I had it for the whole game. So I'm fine with having it be in C.
AJ?
I just had I'm fine with that. I just had a revelation that I'll do screen sharing if I can.
Oh, look at that.
That would be even better.
Go for it.
Choose video set. It seems like it's too much, dude. I'm sorry. I don't want to mess anything up.
No worries.
I don't want to mess anything up. So the next Pokemon is Yamper. Yamper's S. I'll hear no arguments.
I thought for a second that you said Yamper was ASS, and I was about to literally fly to New Jersey and have to beat you up because this Pokemon is beautiful. It is my favorite baby. It's S, also known as baby tier.
Yep.
It's
100%. It's going in S. All
Easy
creamy.
enough.
Okay.
I haven't seen this one in game at all. I just know it from the promotional material. So it's something.
Okay, I kind of like from the promotional material and the memes and all that stuff. Kind of, it knocked it down for me. But when I saw how it evolved, I was like, you know what? I can't not put it higher because it's just a milkshake at that point. You know.
So I put it in my personal list at A for attack, as in I feel attacked with how many versions of this Pokemon there are.
Yes.
There's over 84 versions of this Pokemon. Parker.
Oh my. I did not know that.
Have you heard about how you get this Pokemon?
Nope. Sure.
So you give it a certain item, and that can be a fruit, a berry. It's like a sweet something or whatever.
Oh, I see.
And if you're making a cake, it's like a decoration topping you put on top. And then depending upon how many spins you do with your little character.
Also, which way you spin.
Yeah, clockwise or counterclockwise.
Yes.
And what time of day it will give you a different result.
Oh my goodness, that's so good.
I have the strawberry form, but there is a matcha form. There's a rainbow form. You want to know how you get the rainbow form?
Yes.
You gotta do, I think it's counterclockwise 7 times between 7:00 p.m. and 7:10 p.m., also known as golden hour in the game. And again, this is why it is an A, for I feel personally attacked for this, because this is insane.
I'm down with putting it in A. I just like that it's a milkshake. I'm a blender, dude, in the game. So he's an A.
Grookey.
A for A blender.
Indeed. All right, we got Grookey next.
All right.
That's an A. That's A. That's an A.
I have thoughts as well.
Oh, no, sorry, I lied. That's an S, sorry. That's for baby.
I can't. Grookey kind of dumb. I'm sorry. In terms of like, I like the 3 starters on a base level. Like, I like it more than I like freaking, what did I say? Turtwig? I like it more than Turtwig. But I don't like them. You know, like, I think that the Game Informer viewers that watch those videos and, you know, like how they showed like the ranking of like Sobble got the most views and then Score Bunny and then Grookey by like 100,000 under the second place or whatever. I agree with them. So like, I'm willing to put Grookey in like B. But Parker will swing this.
So here's the deal. Before Parker even goes, the answer is no. He's going in S. And I will not accept anything else besides that. So look, you can't tell me that you look at this child, this green child. Again, there is a theme here. The best Pokemon just give you a nice hello wave. Okay. Morpeko was giving you a snack. Grookey's like, hey man, like, he's politely waving, right? He acknowledges you as a trainer. He's like, hey man, you know, it's Wednesday. We're going to go fight some Pokemon. I'm having a great day. Like, that is such a nice, polite boy. You cannot give this man anything less than S. That is the lowest I'm willing to go.
I just can't.
So
Parker.
We've talked about the starters a lot of times. And when I say you've talked about the starters a lot of times, and I've mostly held my tongue most of the time. I picked Sobble, and I like Sobble, But I like Grookey a lot better than I have not said anything about one way or another. I definitely like him more than Score Bunny. I am not a huge Score Bunny fan.
See, this is the thing. I probably like him more than Score Bunny just because Score Bunny is designed by an algorithm for late 80s to early 90s
pretty
kids.
much.
And for that much, like, I like it because I'm an early 90s kid.
Yeah.
But I don't like it because I'm not
I mean,
down
he's
with
just a
algorithms.
breakfast cereal mascot, so there you go. You got that.
Yeah. So for individuality, he has that, you know? But, like...
I think Grookey's real cute. So, yeah. There's
Okay,
there's
I'll
that.
put him in S because I'm outvoted, you know? I'll put him in S.
Justice
on.
was had.
And especially like the way he turns into, I mean, Rillaboom is pretty dope.
Yes.
I don't have one yet,
Rillaboom,
but he's dope.
Yeah, going down the narrative of like my least favorite first form, he's most improved. So I also don't feel terrible about putting him in S because he improved a lot. You know, he glowed up, as the kids say.
He did.
As the children say.
Indeed. Duraludon, right? Is that what's next?
Yes.
Oh, what's it called?
He's the big steel man that turns into a building.
What is it called? Oh gosh, it's the Exacto Knife Pokemon.
Yeah, right.
Yes.
Duraludon,
Or
the
the-
Exacto Knife Pokemon. That's the.
Is that what the Pokedex is going to
Pokedex,
sound
yeah,
like in
that's
the
Dexter.
anime?
The thing is, I don't know why, but in my head, the Pokedex has always been British, even though I know it was just like a random AI voice or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I see it.
Okay, where are we putting him? Because I want to put him in D for Dragon.
I am of two minds. My one mind is like, the design is pretty awesome, but I'm kind of sad that we
He
didn't
turns
get like.
into a skyscraper, and I don't like it. He turns into a building that you go to in the game.
I did. You know what? Now that you've opened up this part of my brain, now he goes to D for don't.
I'm putting him in D.
Yeah. What are your thoughts? Like,
Yeah,
again,
it's-
he's just an Exacto Knife.
I haven't seen him in game to if I play with him some, I might change my mind, but for now I don't have enough opinions to know one way or another.
I wish that he had
Cole.
more forms. I wish that there was like a tiny little dragon that had like a little
like, how does
fork
he
or
not
something,
have
or I don't know.
more
Like
forms?
it was kind of goofy. He was introduced very late into the game too.
Yeah, I thought he was like a second evolution when I first saw him.
Yeah, I could see that.
Colossal. I'm not putting him high because he should be a train.
Now that we've unlocked the train lore, I have him in B here, but I'm willing to go down for C, as in C, man,
C for
he
Cole.
could have been a train.
C for could have been a coal train. You know.
Yes, exactly.
John Coltrane.
I'll put Car Cole. I'll put him in B because like at least he's a car. Close enough to a train.
He looks
Put him in
real
C,
derpy.
you know, man. I'm fine with B.
I mean, I think he's straight up got Golem's face. Why? I just want to
Because
know.
they burned him down to ash and put him in a car. That's why.
All right, where are we putting him?
B.
All right, B's fine.
Next.
He's silly.
Rookity.
Rookity,
A or S? A or S?
100% easy.
S.
Okay.
Easy
S.
S right there.
S
I'm
for
down
baby.
with
Again,
S.
I'm telling you right now, if there's a baby Pokemon, they belong in S. That's
Yep.
what we're doing here.
Corvisquire. Less, for sure. Less. He's kind of like awkward teens.
I'll put him in. I'm willing to put him in C, but like if you guys are higher on it, B is fine too.
I put C for Corvisquire.
Okay, let's do C.
Yeah,
I'm down with that.
that works.
Any objections, Parker?
Nah.
Okay,
Yeah,
cool.
he's all right.
All right, this octopus fighting man. I don't remember his name.
I don't know his name at all. Grapple-Oct.
Yeah, that boy.
Okay, so this is the punching octopus, right?
Yeah.
So I put him in C because I used him in the game because his baby form was so cute. But
Yes.
from the baby form to this, I did not like the transition.
He's just
So I put him
pure
in C
fighting?
or
That's-
D. He's pure fighting, yeah.
that
He
doesn't
he
make-
does learn some water moves, but it's pure fighting.
It's kind of dumb.
I think he should be water fighting, honestly. If
Yeah,
like
I'm putting him in C.
just for that alone, and knock points. Yeah, C works.
But I agree. Babby's going in S.
Claw,
Exactly.
Clobopus.
Yes.
Clobopus literally
man.
describes perfectly what this Pokemon is. It's
Yeah.
it's a little baby. And
giant
if you read its
fists.
Pokedex, it says this Pokemon's punch can knock out a full-grown man, I think. But it has but it says, I think at the bottom of the Pokedex, it says that it has the intelligence of a 3-year-old child. And I was like, this baby's so powerful. I love it. So Clobopus goes into S tier for baby.
That's
All right,
great.
Impidimp.
S. Let me sell you on it right now. All you
Yeah,
need to do is
talk
see
to
me
me.
visually. Ready here. I'm gonna put my arms out to the side. This is what Impidimp's normal static evolution or static walking thing is. This.
That's true.
That's literally
That's true.
Impidimp. And if you do the audio in your head as he goes back and forth, you cannot love this Pokemon.
And you can hear like you hear his like the sound of his steps on the stream that they did. I'll put him in S. He's okay. Fine. Sure.
I have
Okay.
not enough opinions to disagree at all, so we're doing it. That works for me.
All right, second evolution. I don't like it. It's going. I will put
Grim.
it in C.
I also put it
At the
in C.
highest. Okay, cool. Any objections, Parker?
He reminds me of bands I listened to in high school. I mean, I still
you have
listen to them now, but they don't look like that anymore. So there
Okay,
you
so
go.
we're putting it in C, right?
Yep, that works for me.
Okay, there it is. This list is more agreeable than I've seen. And okay, you need to talk more in the OKB's tier list.
All right,
can't do
Grim
it.
Snarl.
I'm too powerful. Grimmsnarl. See, this is a difficult thing here. Let me pull up my list again. I put
When
him down
I
in
saw
C.
this thing,
I saw him for the
felt-
first time today.
I felt about him the way that I did what it was the Lost Kingdom in Mario Odyssey, where it's like, what? Like, why is he here? He doesn't look like he belongs.
No, not at all.
Yeah, that's kind of where I was at when I first saw him. I kind of grew into it as like the
He
game went
looks
on.
like a gargoyle.
Yeah, and that's
from the cartoon.
That's the whole point. I think is that it's supposed to be based off of like old like gargoyles and stuff. I just again he or this Pokemon in general kind of follows that same design rationale that I was talking about earlier, where like the first version, I'm like, ooh, Impidimp, so cute, so like a little mischievous or whatever. And then what's it called? The second evolution. I'm like, okay, I still get it. It's like a little bit like meaner, but it's still got that kind of sassy vibe to it. And like the hair kind of looks like a knife. I was like, oh, that's very interesting. And then the third evolution, I'm like, okay, I don't see the line of thinking
No,
design
yeah.
wise from Impidimp to this guy. And I would have, in my opinion, much rather been in a situation where the third evolution is like still tiny or like smaller and is kind of like more mischievous, right? As opposed to this giant hulking demonic thing.
He's too
you know?
muscly, in my opinion. Like, I'm fine with him being big, I guess, but like him being actively like, swole or whatever is
Yeah,
just
like just looking like a
bit
bodybuilding man.
Yeah. So for like not spoilers, but like for info on his Pokedex or whatever, that's not actually muscle, that's hair.
Yeah, but
Oh,
he
that's
looks
even worse,
like
man.
muscle.
He's going in D. I'm putting him in D.
I
Yeah.
agree with D.
Yeah.
I
put him
think
in
if
C,
it's
but I
supposed
can
to
see him
be-
going in D.
If it's supposed to be like
Boltine
a
is
gargoyle
S.
kind of thing, I would
but-
say also if he was like, I don't know, it wouldn't make sense with the rest of the typing and stuff, but if he was like more like a rock gargoyle kind of thing and it went with more British, like castles that have gargoyles kind
Yeah,
of
I
thing.
feel like if
that
he
could
was
be
a
cool.
rock, and they made him look like he was a rock, it
Yeah.
would look more Pokemon-esque
Yeah.
to me. But the fact
I
that
think
he's
so,
just
too.
like a straight up
Ooh, yeah, like now
flesh gargoyle
now
man.
now I'm thinking about like what if they instead of having the bottom part of his body be green in the second evolution, maybe like make it so that he had like we're talking about like punk rock as like one of the themes or whatever. Have him like wear these like giant like knee-high rock boots. And then the
That'd be
final
fun.
evolution is like he's wearing like this crazy like rock almost like armor maybe, and then like he still has like the demon horns or something, and like that's a
Yeah.
part of it. Like I would have much rather have like that and change his
Yep.
typing to fairy rock, because
Yes.
I don't think we've had that typing either.
Yep.
Yeah, I just
And then like
I think that the
every
execution
3
is bad.
turns, he can like turn to just pure stone or something, and then I don't know, like
That's a good way. Yeah, like yeah, he could do
kinda
like
like
a thing where it's a
my
combination of
Moped
like
Nova.
mean look and like protect, where like he transforms into like the Darmatanian Zen mode, where he like kind of comes in, protects, and then like if someone attacks him, then that can reduce his like their speed or something, or they can be or they can be paralyzed or something.
It could even be like a time of day thing, or if you have sunny day, like he turns to like stone when you have sunny day out, or when it's morning
I
time.
love that so much.
That's and again, there's an
Man.
in-game clock. Why not? See, hey,
Yeah,
Pokemon,
exactly.
hire us.
Easy.
I've been
love
saying it.
Morpeko.
How long have we been making videos and shit? 2015's first video. I've been, you know what? That's my resume, dude.
There you go.
Boltund is going in S.
Ooh, counterpoint. No. Boltund.
How dare you?
Here's the thing. Yamper, adorable, cute, big ears. Counterpoint. Boltund, dog. Just a dog.
Dogs are good boys.
He's like
Yeah.
a guard dog.
Yeah, but like, here's the thing.
I wouldn't necessarily
Yamper's-
say S, but he's. I'd say A.
I'm going no lower than A.
I put him in C,
refuse.
and let me tell you
I
why.
refuse.
In motion, Boltund is rad. His tail turning into the electricity or whatever, that's great. But as a raw image, he does not look good. You cannot look at this
How
current image that we
dare
have
you.
on this tier list and tell me that looks good. Yamper, you look
dare
at
you.
that, that's a happy, fun boy. And hear me out.
You're telling me Boltund doesn't look happy?
No, it looks dead. So
I will say its
also-
eye design
yeah.
is not as great as it could be. Like, its face looks a little bit like just passive as opposed to emotive in some way. But
hear me
He's seen
out.
some stuff, man. He's grown.
So hear me out.
He's a big man. He's murdered many people.
So hear me out. There is a future in which Yamper evolves into just a longer corgi, and instead of doing Meowth Gigantamax, we got Yamper Gigantamax, which is just Yamper super long swirling corgi going up into the sky, right? So there's that.
Counterpoint. Do that and then fuse them and make them cat dog.
That could also be a thing. But the thing about
Yes.
Boltund is that it's all about that design language stuff that I've been talking about. Yamper has a very certain feel to him where he's like a happy, goofy puppy, and Yamper feels like he should be a different type of dog. And hear me out. What if instead of having an evolution this generation, which we haven't had, we have, I don't know, like a Pokemon that's called like any pup or something like that, or like Puppany or something like that. And then you have a normal puppy form, and then you have 3 different types of evolutions. You have Boltund, could be like the fast electric type. You could have Bloodhunt or something like that. It could be like a dark Pokemon that's like a Bloodhound, that like kind of like a Sherlock Holmesian sort of inspiration. And then you could have a dark type or a fairy type or whatever based off of like, you ever watch like Sherlock in the BBC or whatever? There's like a whole story about how there's like this giant ghostly dog or something like that goes around. Like, there's better ways, I think, to do the Yamper / dog motif. And I just didn't like the execution from A to B, and that's why I put Boltund in C. I'm willing to go B or A because, again, I used him. I shouldn't talk this way about him, but like, again, just design wise, raw picture wise, Yamper, perfect. Boltund, problems, we'll say.
All right. I'll put, you know what? Here's my compromise. I'll put Boltund in B for Boltund. That's my compromise.
You know what, man? Fair. Let's put him in B for Boltund.
Here we go. Galarian Stunfisk.
That goes into D for
Yes.
don't.
Yes.
Pokemon is poo-poo. Not
I didn't even
good
know
Pokemon.
that this was. I'd never run into a Stunfisk before, so I still don't really know off the top of my head what the original one looks like.
If you never see a Stunfisk, you're lucky.
Yes. I agree.
This Pokemon, I have caught
okay.
many a Pokemon, and I'll even tell you right now, the rates for stuff. The rates for different Pokeballs are varied, right? Quick Balls have a 5 times the average Pokeball's chance to catch a Pokemon. I caught 0 Stunfisks in my game. I encountered 20 with Quick Balls and everything. And not only that, this
my.
Pokemon is strong as hell. This Pokemon is dirty. So that's why I have a vendetta
See-
against this Pokemon. It's buns. I don't like it. It's bad.
This is my only plus for this specific version, even though still putting him in D.
Is the
He's going in
Pokeball?
D and he's not moving. The only plus is that I like how he operates in the overworld.
Yes.
Where he's literally just a bear trap.
I agree.
Yes.
That, great.
Yep.
Thumbs up. But still going in D. I'm sorry about
Yeah,
it.
I can enjoy the concept. This is one of those things where it's like
Yeah.
concept. Wow, what a cool concept. And then I fight it and I'm like, wow, I hate you. I never want to see this Pokemon ever again. You know what? Maybe we should have replaced this with a different Pokemon. Maybe the National Dex people were right. That's what I started to think when I started to see this Pokemon.
This Pokemon took Trico's spot.
It's true.
Blasphemous.
It's true.
Snom.
So, first of all, don't do my boy dirty like that. It's Snom.
Snom.
And this is
Okay,
why I had to
Snom.
create a whole different tier. Snom, S above S tier. It is God tier. Snom is the best Pokemon to ever be created. Let me paint a picture with words for you.
Okay.
A, Pokemon's cute. Okay, that's A for you. B, when you have Pokemon Camp.
Oh, so he's going down now.
No, he's in G for God, as
Yeah,
in the
but no,
number
I mean,
one.
if now he's in B, I don't know what you're talking about. Just kidding.
So he's in Pokemon Camp, right?
Yep.
So here's the thing: when you try and interact with it, and this is usually how you would get it to evolve. It has to have high happiness to evolve, right? You're playing with it, right? Oh no, Snom's on the other side of the camp. Let me whistle it over. You whistle, Snom turns around. This is the slowest Pokemon in the entire game. It takes like 35 seconds to a minute for it to come back. And I'm telling you
I heard you talking about this on the OK Beast podcast.
I'm telling you right now, normally that would annoy me, but dang, dude, look at this little squeegee kind of like slowly go. I was like, oh no, I love it. It's so dumb. It's amazing.
See, I don't know if I want to put it higher than everybody else, but I'm okay with putting it in S.
I will compromise.
Yeah,
I'll
sure.
compromise.
I haven't seen it in game yet, so I have no reason to say.
Also, it looks like
He's
something
just
that Bob
cute,
would
so
draw.
there you
It
go.
looks like a Bob sticker.
It is a beautiful child, and I love it so.
All right, this freaking demon ladybug.
Orbeetle.
Yeah.
So Orbeetle, I'm willing to go as low as B, but the reason why I put it in S is because its Gigantamax form is a UFO, and like those jokes about like how in the UK the like UFOs would take up cows and stuff. I saw that and I was like, okay, I like the design inspirations. I think it's pretty rad overall.
Okay, so I haven't seen this, so let's use the power of Google.
I'm looking at its
Gigantamax.
It's just fun.
Orbeetle. Location. What? Images. Why is the first thing Gengar that popped up? Come on, Google. Get it together.
Another great Gigantamax Pokemon.
Yeah. Yeah. Were we putting it A?
Please look at the fourth image on Google saying, I want to believe, and having instead of the UFO, it's the Orbeetle.
That's really good.
It is beautiful.
Yeah, A. I think that works.
Okay, I'll put it in A. Oh, shoot. Okay, there we go.
Oh, and here it is, Orbeetle absorbing a Miltank, and that is all the fan art I needed. I love it.
Okay, I don't remember
Blipbug?
this stupid thing's name, but I don't like it.
It's Blipbug.
D.
It
me
would
see.
get higher points if so. Its eyes look kind of like glasses, which is, you know, I guess like posh and British or something, I suppose. If it had just a monocle instead, that would be nice.
Oh, yep, that's
Just
ruined
saying.
for me. Yep. I was like, oh, it's cute. It's got a little bow tie. It's like a little posh, like middle schooler. And then the second you said the monocle, I was like, I'm out. Okay. C
Yeah, I don't like 'em.
C
I'd
for
go
I don't
C.
see a monocle.
Yeah.
Okay,
I'd
I'll
say
put
C
him
as well.
in C. I'll put him in C.
And then Dottler, last one of
His
that line.
evolution.
Yep.
I'm willing to put him also in C.
Same. Yeah, I put him in C as well.
Also me.
There it is.
There it is.
The first evolution of the Barraskewda thing.
Aracuda, I think.
So Aracuda has a better mouthfeel than Barraskewda, and it is
A mouthfeel. All right.
It is kind of cute. Like it's got a little mustache and it's happy.
Yeah.
That goes a long way for me.
Okay, I'll put him in B.
That's where I have him now for Barraskewda.
Okay.
Aha.
All right. I don't remember how to say this thing's name.
I don't either. I'm about to look it up.
Squirrel Boy.
Squirrel Boy.
Oh, it's
Squirvit.
Screedunt and Greedunt or whatever, or Squavit and
Squirvit.
Greedunt.
Yeah,
Oh,
there you go.
Squavit. Yeah, that's what it is. I'm willing to
'cause
put
Covet.
Squavit in
Gotcha.
B
Whoa.
or A.
I put him in. Well, the pre-evolution I'm willing to go into to be A, B, or C. I put him in D for don't, because I'm like, guys, I know that I just said that these are just animals, but bro, this is a squirrel. Don't look at me. This isn't a squirrel. Like, come on.
All right, I'm putting Squavit in B, and because of a friend of the show, Max from Loop Pods, brought up that
Because of friends.
Greedent is no. Greedent specifically is just Parker. I'm fine with putting him in D. No.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
D for deal.
There you go.
There we
There it
go. We
is.
did it.
There it is.
We can put him wherever we want.
All right, the freaking tapeworm boy.
The tape one?
Sizzlepede.
Oh, here's the thing. I put him in S because he's just a tiny little baby bug. So cute.
I'm willing to put him in A.
I'm willing
with
to. I'm
with
willing.
his big brother.
Exactly. I'm fine
true.
with that.
They're both there. Works for me.
All right, this hat.
I don't know what these ones are.
The hat. Hatterene or whatever.
Oh, no. all
Hat-
of those Pokemon. So, wait. This is the second one or the first one?
This is
The second one.
Hattrem.
Hatterene, I put in A because it looks like it's like a little tiny kid. I was like, oh, that's a cute kid. Cool.
I'm fine with putting it in A. That's
Yeah.
fine.
For
I'm
Hatena.
not putting the final
Oh,
evolution.
you know where that's going. You know,
Thank you.
I know
Thank
we're on
you.
the same page here, and there's a place for it to go.
Okay. First of all,
First of all, is a cute baby. It goes into S for baby tier.
okay, I'm down with
There's
that.
a logic here.
Yes. How did you Milcery or
Milcery?
Milcery? Okay.
So I thought this reminded me of a pre-evolution Digimon, so I put it in S for my own nostalgia purposes. But I also acknowledge that it's just milk, so I'm cool with it to go into A or B.
I'm down with putting it in this.
Nice, baby's taking over.
That's right.
I'm also down with putting Galarian Corsola in S if there's no objections to that.
The answer is yes.
There it is.
There it is.
All right, I'm putting freaking Dreadnaught's second evolved form right down in D with him.
Choodle. Ooh, I put Choodle in B just because it was angry. I like the emoting. It's like a little sassy turtle.
Yeah, he'd be up there a little bit for me.
All right, can I put him in C?
I'm cool with that. C
Sure.
for cool,
All right.
as in I'm cool with
I'll
that.
put him in
Yep.
C.
His silly head is fun.
All right, the snack, the snick. I don't know.
Snicket or whatever. Yeah.
No, snake. I'm talking about the snake.
Oh, the
Snake
snake.
boy.
Oh,
The small one.
I put him in B because I like his final evolution, but I'm willing to kind of go either way.
I'm fine with putting him in
is
B.
this
He tied
Pokemon's
himself in a
name?
knot. He's the Babby version of it. That just makes sense. You know? Babbies would tie
Oh,
themselves in knots.
Silicobra. There we go.
Yeah.
Silicobra. There we go. Yeah.
Where's he going?
Mr. Rhyme.
Okay, here's the thing. I know that we created the S, A, B, C, and D. I'm going to tell you right now, there's a tier below D for don't, and it's
down.
It's S
I'm
for sin.
down.
So Mr. Rhyme goes in S for sin. It should not
I'm
exist.
down. All right. Add row below.
Just like there was a Snom above, there must be a Mr. Rhyme below.
Nope. In all lowercase is the name of the tier right now. All right. So you know what? I'm torn on these. I kind of want to put all the fossils in the nope tier
So this
because
is
they're
Arctofish.
abominations. But also, hear me out. I kind of like that they're abominations because it kind of makes sense. You know, it's
So,
like the
yeah.
scientists messed up. They're
So-
like, we think this is what they look like.
So here's the thing. 3 of them belong in the sin tier. 1 of them belongs in the B tier minimum for me. So do you know the lore behind these? Like the actual
Yeah.
real world thing?
Oh no, not the real world.
So
Well,
in the UK, apparently, this is based off of a real story where like some scientist in the UK was looking up fossils and really wanted to make some sort of like scientific finding. So he just scrunched a bunch of fossils together and said, "Oh yeah, this is what this dinosaur looked like," and that's supposed to be based. It's based off of that story. So
okay.
That's
Yeah.
funny.
so it's the same for Dreepy and Dragapult. Those are based off of like real scientific things in the UK, which I thought was cool. Also, the person that gives you these fossils, her name is Kara Liss, which I thought was kind of. I'm like, all right, fine. Don't commit scientific sin and then make a joke about it. So the first fossil, the electric Electazolt, belongs in sin tier because this thing is miserable. The one Dracovish, which is the fish one, that belongs in sin tier because its mouth is
Yes.
on its head upside down, even though it looks like it has a head in front. So that
Yes.
belongs in sin tier. What is it? The fish one that's a dragon tail or whatever. What is it called?
Arctofish.
Arctovish, that belongs in sin tier because in the Pokedex it says that it can't breathe because it's a fish and it has legs on the bottom, so it's forced to walk on land. So sin, don't belong anywhere in this game. Goodbye.
Okay, wait.
So which is the one that you said does
So
belong?
we're clear on this. we're talking about the one with the mouth on the top of his head is Sin, the big blue boy. That one.
Yes.
Sin.
So both of the ones with the fish head belong in Sin, and then yes, but then the one that belongs in B is the electric one with the dragon bottom, because at least that dragon one looks happy. At least there's I'm
okay. So you're talking about the yellow one. He's yellow on the top.
Yes, the one on the yellow on top, and then the dragon body. I think it's Electo Dragon or something like that. Or
Dracozolt. It looks like
Dracozolt. That one at least looks like it's happy to be here. You know what I mean? And
I'm willing to put him in C.
C is okay. I'm fine with that because at least it's pumped.
Parker, what do you think?
Like, what a happy boy he is.
Sure, these all work for me. I haven't seen them in game yet, so I have.
Parker,
they're all abominations.
I do like the idea of this a lot, though. It's fun.
Yeah, and the thing is, in concept, yes, it's so rad, and I like the idea of there being like these mixtures. But the thing that frustrates me the most out of all of these is that literally you're missing one of the pieces. There, the green and red dragon one. I'm like, I want that one. And then guess what? If I have that one, I can give everybody the bodies that they need and they can go and be happy. And I think that like the Electro Zolt or whatever, the Zolt part, the electric part, that looks like a, what's the word? A raptor. And I love raptors, and a tiny electric raptor that runs really fast, has high speed electric type dragon moves. I'm like, that's what I want. Don't give me the Sin. Give me the thing that I want.
Yeah, I think it would be cool if they can do that. And then, like, if it wasn't, like, highly, which it would be because Sarah B and Bulbapedia is a thing, but if it wasn't, like, highly publicized of, like, which ones are the right version, and you just come out and you roll out with this Pokemon, you're like, look at this thing, it's dope. And then somebody has the actual one, and you're like, what the hell, how'd you get that? Yeah.
The thing is also, this is one of those things where I was saying earlier about how this game is primed for a sequel. Like literally there's a missing piece of these fossils. And I would love in the new version, like, oh, there's a new discovery of a new fossil from over a year ago and blah, blah, blah. Like that could totally be like an aspect of that we could do in the continuation.
Yeah, I agree. Snicket.
So
he's just a fox though.
Yeah.
But he has a hand for a tail.
But it's so Snicket is the pre-Evo or the post-Evo?
Yeah.
Nicket,
So the pre-Evo,
Oh, Nicket.
it's it looks like a hand, but it's actually supposed to be a like a bag of loot. Yeah.
Then why does it have appendages?
That's a good question.
That is a good question.
I think it's adorable. I think the color scheme is really great. It's got like little tiny baby fangs when it opens its mouth. It's got a cute noise. I put it in S for baby.
All right, so here's my thinking here. I'm morally okay with putting it in an S, but at the same time, if we're talking about as just a blank, it's just a fox.
That is true. But it's a cute fox though.
That's fair. Parker, what do you think?
I'd probably put it in A, personally.
A? I think we're going to put it in A. I'm sorry, Ian. I apologize.
That is completely fine. I'm cool with it.
And I think people are kind of on one side or another of Thievel. I kind of like it.
So you can like something and it still be trash. I love Thievel so much, but it's dookie. Thievel goes in either C for can you not or D for dookie.
I'm willing to put it in C.
We can put it in C.
Because I don't think he's that bad, but he's...
I just like his mustache and...
Which one?
Both.
All the mustaches.
I like his mustache and his mask are fun to me.
Okay, I volunteer Dreepy and all the rest of his evolutions for S.
Yes.
Except for maybe the second one. The second one, I don't know.
What?
Maybe he's A.
It looks like it's so happy. Look at him, the goofy little...
He's happy, but he kind of has like energy.
That's what I like. I like energy. That's like half of the liking of it.
All right. We'll put the full thing in S.
Yes.
I'm down with that.
Works for me.
S.
Exactly. And then Toxel.
S.
Purple baby belongs in S.
Classic.
This, full transparency, I saw Toxel. I had a Yamper on my team because I told Grimhane, who is a listener of this show, I told him, I was like, yes, I'm putting Yamper on my team. But I got Toxel from the nursery, and I was like, well, rip, dude, I'm sorry, Yamper, you're just going to have to live in the box now.
Goodbye. By the way, speaking of stories about Toxel, my wife and I were playing this game at the same time. We got to the daycare center around the same time, and that's when I started to play a little bit more. And for the life of me, I was like, oh, what's the name of this Pokemon cow? And she goes, oh, it's Purple Baby. I'm like, no, I mean, like, what's the name? And she's like, no, it's Purple Baby. And to this day, this Pokemon's name is not Toxel. It's Purple Baby.
I just called it Babby until it evolved, and I was like, all right, I got to learn what this thing's actually called.
Exactly.
All right, Eternus. What the heck is his name? I'm putting him in D.
Eternatus?
Yeah, him.
I'm of two minds. I put it in B because it's raw as hell. It's dope. It's purple. It's got great colors. It's interesting. It's got like a skeletal like sort of vibe to it. I enjoy that. But I think that it has less personality and story relevance than like the Diamond and Pearl legendaries, Mewtwo's, and stuff like that. So I acknowledge it's not S. It's not that cool. But I think just purely based off design, I put it in B.
Also, like, what even is he? We can't freaking call Pokemon Gun and put him on the box. He's not a gun.
That's a good point.
Pokemon Origami.
Ooh.
I'm putting him in D.
There you go. He's Origami. Yamask.
Freaking Yamask. Galarian Yamask.
Nope.
Nope tier specifically?
No, not in Sin tier. So there are specific Pokemon that belong in Sin tier.
All right, so I'll put him in D.
Yeah, I put him in C at the end of the day, just because I liked the original Yamask. But yeah, I'm fine with C or D.
All right, his evolution
Rungiris or whatever.
Yes.
The fact that this Pokemon has probably the most ridiculous evolution requirements of all time.
Yes.
Parker, have you heard of this, by the way?
Nope. Sure.
So here's the thing. Here is how you evolve this Pokemon. It needs to lose 49 hit points.
At least.
Or
it can lose
more.
more than that.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
So 49 hit points or more. And then, by the way, that's very difficult because it has a very weird typing of ground and ghost, meaning that it can't be hit by electric moves, normal moves, a bunch of different types can't even hit it.
Yeah.
So then, on top of that, you have to lose 49 or more hit points, and then you have to walk under a specific place in the wild area. It will not evolve if you just walk around or level it up. A specific area is the only place that it can evolve.
That's so odd.
How would you know that if you didn't have the
There's
game?
so many of the
Like,
yeah. I don't know. Like, I don't really want to look up how to evolve all the Pokemon. Like, some
You
of them I
have
just.
to.
That's the thing. Which, yeah, because like there's a bunch where I'm like, I'm just gonna level everything up to 40, and then if they haven't evolved by then, well, I'll look it up. Like, I don't know. That's the best I can do.
There's certain Pokemon, like, spoilers, Galarian Farfetch'd, we didn't get to yet. I evolved him and had no idea he had a special requirement because he was just in my team, so it just happened.
Yeah.
He just got to like level 33 and he evolved. I'm like, that seems about right. And then people were like, this Pokemon's ridiculous to evolve. And I was like, is he? And then I looked it up and I was like, oh yeah, that's kind of dumb. But if you're just using them, it's going to happen.
Yeah.
Maybe not the freaking Damask. Maybe not that one.
Exactly.
So we put him in D.
Yes.
All right.
Next up, we got Elephant Man.
Big elephant.
Big Elephant Man.
This is
Copperajah.
Copperajah.
I like these Pokemon. I like them because they're from a different region, and I want an Indian Pokemon region. Give it to me now.
Yes.
So I'm gonna put it in A.
Cool.
Yes.
Cool.
That's why I put Copperajah as
Q-Fant.
well.
I've got an idea where this is going to go on Ian's list.
Going in S4, baby. It's adorable.
I'm down. All right. Next up, I'm putting Ice Cube in S. The first one
Which one is that? With helmet or without?
with the big old helmet.
I'm cool with it being an S because I put it in A for mine.
I'm putting it in S, and I'll put the other one in A.
That's fair.
Because that one was a new discovery for me today, and I don't like them as much.
And then we got Indeedee. What is this one?
Oh, I think this is supposed to be the Butler Pokemon, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, 'cause
I thought it
one's
was like a
interesting.
odd to know situation.
No, I only
When I
found this
first
out
saw it.
after the game, but you see it in the Pokemon centers and you see it in hotels in the game.
Yeah, that's why I thought it was like a odd to know thing.
Yeah, and it's the one with the hair down is female, the one with the hair up is male, and they're supposed to be butlers and maids. If you look at their the
Gotcha.
markings on their chests, it's supposed to be based
Okay.
off of like old school, European made
see that.
designs. Yeah.
So what? Like C?
I put it in A just because I like the concept, but I'm willing to go with B or A or B or C. I'm cool with this.
All right, Parker, what do you think?
Yeah, let's go with B.
All right, let's put
Happy
it in
little
B.
B
medium.
for Butler.
B for Butler.
Yes.
Oh, perfect.
The lore is deepening.
All right, this Pukumuku thing, but not Pukumuku.
Pinchurchin?
Pincurchin. Cool Pokemon, doesn't belong in the UK. I put it in C.
I almost put it in nope, but I'll put
No, it does not belong in the Sin tier. There are 5 Pokemon that belong in Sin tier, and we'll get to them. We've already covered 4 of them.
Appleton.
Appleton.
He's
is a sweet, sweet boy.
It's oh Lord, it's coming. That Pokemon.
Appleton is a sweet, sweet boy. It's adorable. It's cute. It's like a little dragon puppy with a pie on top. It goes in S for baby.
I'm okay with putting him in S.
Works for me.
Like you're telling me, someone in the writer's room of Pokemon was like, all right, what about apple pie by a dragon? And someone didn't turn to that person and was like, Jimmy, you get a
Gave them a
raise.
raise. Yeah. Yes, somebody working at Game Freak is named Jimmy. Well, kind of. Technically, yes.
The art director, James Turner. Yeah, that's what I was talking about.
True.
He's the art director. He got a raise.
That's true. That's true. You know what?
Yay, I did
Bonus
it.
points. What is this thing? It's freaking Galarian Meowth's evolved form
Perserkin. I just looked
Perserker
it up.
or something.
I had
Okay.
not. Oh, Berserker. Yeah, I
goes
didn't
in
know
S.
that it wasn't going to be Persian. That's
Persian?
fun.
Yeah.
It is.
I kind of want to
yes.
put it in C.
It is
I
an
kinda
S.
wanna-
Okay, here, let me sell you on this
Parker.
Pokemon. It's a Viking.
Yes,
A,
I understand.
which
Yep.
has direct ties to the UK, so it has historical ties.
Yes.
It makes sense. B, got a cool type, right? Pure steel type for a Meowth. C, this is the first time I've ever cared about Meowth. Out of all the times it's been around, I'm like, oh, cool. Alolan
Yeah.
Meowth, whatever, you're dark type, who cares? Normal Meowth, you're bad. And then cut to this one, I'm like, I have a level 70 Berserker in my squad because the design is so rad. And then the last part of it is that when it attacks, it makes its hands into knives. You can't make this up. It's
didn't even
amazing.
see that.
Yeah, when it does physical attacks, it goes like meow and like makes its hands into giant daggers and then attacks, and it is amazing.
I kind of wish that I didn't know that this existed and I just evolved it naturally and found out, because that would have been a wonderful reveal.
Just like when I told, because, okay, so as we established, I'm ahead of Parker in this game, and we've been talking about it on the podcast. And I was like, when you see his Galarian form, you're going to have this reaction of like, what is that? Like, what the heck is that?
And I sent you a message as soon as I ran into Galarian Mouth, and I was like, that's the one! And you're like,
He knew
"That's the
exactly which one it was.
Yeah.
So, all right, Parker, what do you think?
A.
I'm
I'd go
willing
A.
to go as high as B. You said A?
I said A.
All right, fine. A.
Cool.
I'm putting it in A minus. I'm putting it in A minus because I'm outvoted. There is no A minus,
A
but in
for
my
yay.
mind there is.
There we go.
Then we got
A for A
Sandaconda.
Viking.
True.
A for A Viking.
We got Sandaconda. What do you guys think?
I want to lower it because the snake didn't eat its tail.
Which one
That's
is
a missed
that? Oh,
opportunity.
Sandaconda.
Yeah, it could have ate its tail. It could have been the snake ate its tail, and it did not.
It did not.
Oh, like the what's the name of it? There's like a scientific thing with the snake eating its tail, right?
Yeah, it's like a whole thing.
The homunculus or whatever it's called.
Yeah, the snake should have ate its tail.
Yeah.
And for that, I'm lowering it at least one tier. I don't know where I want to put it exactly, but it can't be S. It can't be A.
Yeah,
I won't allow it.
I put mine with the original baby form in B, just because like it's got a cool design, but it's way better in motion. I think that just a still image doesn't do it justice. I think. So
I'll put him in B. I'll put him
I
in
can see that.
Yeah. B for barely a Pokemon, kind of just a snake right there. So that's pretty much
snack.
It's a snack. It's a hot snake.
Speaking of a hot
Sinistea.
snack, Sinistea.
I like
Sinistea.
Sinistea because I like the counterfeit thing. I like that.
That is
That is
the
fun.
dumbest thing alive, and I love it.
I like it so much because it's something you could shame people for that they won't know until you tell them, and then their life is ruined.
Yeah.
Because then it's like, you have a fake one. Your Sinistea sucks. And you're like, how do you know? It's like, look at his battle animation, and it lifts up, and it's like,
You're
see,
like,
does that have a
no.
seal of
I mean, it's
authenticity?
also like so British for that to be a thing, because like,
Yes.
you get collector's items and they're not. I mean, it's specifically teacups. My mom collects teapots.
Oh, dang.
And yeah, so like, I mean, she doesn't have. She mostly just likes like fun, cool ones. But I mean, she's got probably over like I don't know, 50 teapots or something like that.
Dang.
Yeah. One of
Okay,
them.
so while you were talking, I put Synesty in S for Synesty.
Cool. Works for me.
Hey, you know what? That works.
Fun little side story, real quick. Collecting teapots because this one's never going to come up again as a tangent. My mom got this one teapot that it was a refrigerator looking thing that has like I mean, it's just in the shape of a refrigerator, and there's all sorts of things inside, and whoever made it, like, made cool,
What?
jokes and stuff on the, like, orange juice and whatever. But one of the things said something to the effect of, like, if you see this, call this number or whatever. And it was, like, a promotional thing. And so she called that number and found out that she bought it, like, 5 years after the teapot came out or something. But it was something, like, the first person that called got, like, I don't know, a gift card to that.
What?
It was something along those, like, would have won a prize. But they're like, yeah, good job though for calling, but yeah, it's already gone. Sorry about it.
That's
She
so
was
funny.
like so excited to like, I found a thing. Like I was just looking around because I like to look around and stuff, and I found it.
It would have been an even better story if she got it, because it's like
Well,
nobody
duh.
thought to call it.
Oh, that's-
like it's been 5 years.
I mean, I think that's the thing though, is like the person that did win it was like just a year before. So like it's not she was one of maybe like, I don't know, 5 people or something that had actually found it, so that's pretty fun.
I'm putting Gene Simmons in S.
Yes.
Yep. Gene Simmons,
No
robots in
conversation needed.
disguise.
That's a
Works
good
for me.
Pokemon. Also, the rationale of being like, oh yeah, we have Zigzagoon, and everyone's like, man, Zigzagoon sucks. And then cut to this game where everyone's like, man, Zigzagoon is rad. I love it. So.
Okay, what is this thing's name? Phalanx? Phalanx?
So, I'm of two minds. The first mind is that this Pokemon is very dumb, and I don't like it. Second point, though, have you seen its animations?
Yes.
Where it's like a bunch of like little tiny bug things in a line.
Yeah.
And Parker, you haven't seen this yet, obviously, because it isn't
not.
until like the very end or towards the end of the game. It has an animation called No Retreat, where it increases its attack, special attack, defense, speed, and special defense. It increases everything. It doesn't require any charging or anything. It's a good thing. And the animation, they have to have spent half the animation budget of this game on this one move, because all the Pokemon line up like this, like, and then there's like a giant like tsunami behind it. There's like these Roman fire pits behind it and stuff like that. Like, it's insane. And I think
hilarious.
just for that alone, it has to be.
So it's not
at
a
least
caterpillar?
B. No.
Yeah, what
It's-
type do you think it is?
Yeah, tell us.
Okay, this is the first, and well, this is the only leak that I saw, was somebody had liked this picture or something, and then I saw it.
Right.
Seeing it now, I'm looking at a bigger picture now. I straight up thought it was a caterpillar, which I think is the idea, is it's supposed to look like that. But now looking at it, I see how, after you said that, I can see how it's a bunch of little people doing fighting things with little shields on their sides and whatever. That's pretty fun. I like that.
Yeah, but it's a fighting type Pokemon. That's the thing.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
sure
Not
fight.
bug at all.
Yep. I guess it's just supposed to look like it would be a bug, but it's not a bug at all. Yeah, that's a bit odd on that front, but
Yeah.
Okay, so where are we putting it?
I don't know. B.
Yeah, that's where
I
I put it.
like B.
Better be a bug.
B for bug.
B for it should have been a bug. Yes.
And then we got Apple, other one Apple. What?
I always get this thing's Flapple. It's
Flapple, there you go.
But whenever I think of it and I like freaking like look it up on Bulbapedia or something, my instinct is to look up Grapple, and I'm like, nope, that's not what it is.
What do you think of Flapple?
The lowest I'm going for Flapple is A.
Agreed.
Are we okay with higher though?
Yeah, I'm good with S. He looks
I
dope.
put,
Okay.
I put Flapple in, let's see. No. Well, I put Appleton in S, and I think I put Flapple in A. But I'm cool with it going in S. I love the concept of it.
Yeah, I'm putting him in S.
Yep, works for me. We got
okay.
Ice Bug Dude.
The Frostmoth.
Frostmoth
dude.
rips. I love Frostmoth.
Okay, we could put it in S. I'm down with that.
Good job, Frostmoth. You did it. You made
You
it.
made it.
Galarian
You made it to
Ponyta.
the vaunted few.
S.
S. 100%.
Full
enough.
S in the chat.
All S's.
Galarian Zigzagoon.
I put that
S.
I put it in S as well.
Look at all you guys.
Man,
We
the
did
Dexit
it.
people are not going to be happy with us. We have way too many S's, dude.
Literally, it's S/baby.
Yes.
Because if there's a baby Pokemon, it belongs there. Because all the pre-evolutions are adorable.
We got Gossifleur.
Put it in C.
Yeah. I'm down with
I'm with
that.
you there.
I saw that and I thought it was based off of like a pepper, like a hot pepper. And I wanted a grass fire Pokemon that was like a jalapeno, essentially.
Yo,
and we
that'd
didn't,
be
and we
dope.
didn't get it, and I was kind of sad
That would
about
be
that.
awesome.
All right, Rapidash, we're putting it in an S.
I don't like its eyes.
Yeah, its eyes are kind of like it's kind of like
Can't see its eyes. Let me see.
it's like angry, kinda. But he's
also-
kind of like done with it all.
Yeah, but
he's
like-
like upset that he's a
Pokemon.
unicorn.
Yeah, but like the thing about that is that like I love the way that that Ponyta's eyes look, where it's like just the giant like coloration. But the fact that that this one has the whites of its eyes, that just for some reason just really threw me off, and I just don't like it. So yeah, so I put it
what
down
you
in
mean.
B for the eyes should have been all black, but that's
I
fine.
can put it in B. I'm fine with B.
Yeah. Like I put Eternatus next to it, and I'm like, yeah, these are the same level for me for different reasons.
Why? Inteleon. I don't know
Inteleon.
why they chose this.
Yeah, that's a weird picture to have picked.
Okay, but Inteleon. I want to put Inteleon in like A or B.
B.
B for boy, you're wrong. It's D for don't. Inteleon
How
bad.
dare you? How dare you?
It's bad.
He's James Bond, dude.
I
Yeah,
like
but
the
if he was
idea-
James Bond, why'd they give him a cape?
Cause it's not a cape. It's to glide down when you parachute, man. You're a spy. you got to be prepared, my guy.
I like the gun idea. I like the animations, but I just don't like this design. That's why I was in D for don't. I put him and Cinderace in the same category.
I disagree. Dubwool.
Wait, where did Inteleon go?
I put him in freaking. What did we say?
think
B?
B.
I said B.
I'd say B. Okay, B is fair. I'll take B.
Yeah, I put him in B.
Dubwool.
I like Dubwool.
I like Dubwool a lot.
I don't like Dubwool. I think Dubwool is.
I mean, he's no Wooloo, but you know, he's
Exactly.
good.
Yeah, he's no Wooloo.
Wooloo went downhill, dude. I'm putting him in D for downhill.
So here's the thing. I think that they could have done something really cool with this, because, like, you know how in nature, obviously, there's goats and there's sheep, right?
That's true.
Yes.
I
There
think they
are.
could have been. I think they could have been. Hey, science lesson. There's goats and there's sheep.
Oh my goodness.
So I think they could have done a cool thing where like Dubwool has a 50-50 chance of being male or female, and then Dubwool could have been the male version, and then it could have been like, I don't know,
something
I don't know.
you with it.
Dubwetter or something like that, or Dubweeder or something like that. Could just be like even puffier and big giant circle. And like instead of it being like angry, you see just like a tiny little Wooloo face, but it's like double the size of the wool or whatever. I thought that could have been cute, because again, it's all about like the design framework, I think. And I
Yeah.
think that Dubwool reads more feminine to me, whereas Dubwool is like a hard right turn into like aggressive male horns, where I
Billy
wish they
Goat
could have
Gruff
done
kind
like,
of a deal. Yeah.
exactly. I wish they could
So
have split
I
it.
just thought of a chaotic evil idea. Tell me what you guys think.
I love chaotic, but I'm a chaotic
I
dude.
want
know.
there to be a Wooloo evolution that is exclusive to Shiny Wooloo. Because it's the black sheep. That's what I want.
Tell me what does
Absolutely.
the evolution look like?
It's just a doper black sheep.
So you're saying there's there's Wooloo, and then there's Shiny Wooloo becomes something different?
Yes.
What about instead of like he loses the fluffy type or ability and like gets sheared down, but his attack goes up way high because he's like aggressive or something?
Yeah.
Because he's mad at the world.
Oh no.
Yes.
Have you ever seen the movie The Witch? The Witch?
Nuh-uh.
I don't think so.
So there's a character so it's all about like it's like a long time ago. It's like an not a period piece movie, but like it's way before phones, like that sort of stuff. And there's like these witches in the woods. There's a family who lives near the woods, and they're like one of the daughters is being like beckoned to the wood to become like a forest witch. And there's a goat that they have on the farm, and they call him Black Billy. It's a billy goat. So what if the male version was the shiny version with a black sheep, again, like you said, had all the sheared things, and it became a dark normal type, and it like learned fire moves or whatever, or something like a Satan paralog in Pokemon, essentially.
Absolutely. Yes.
I want this so bad now. It's like, that's just as stupid as the Alcremie stuff, but like cooler.
All right, Double
I want
C
to put
now.
Double in D for downhill. Any objections?
I'd say C. He's still cool, but like he just lost some points now that we had that conversation.
I'm cool with C for cool.
I'll put it in C.
Wait, what if there was like an item you could give to it as it was evolving, and then
Don't tell me something that would make him better, because I'm putting him in D.
No, I'm saying that like that Black Billy idea we had, where like the sheared version is like the fire dark type or whatever. What if as you're evolving it, like let's say level 20 it evolves or whatever. What if you're giving it like if you give it the item like the scissors or something like that, or like the buzzers at level 20 it evolves into Black Billy, and without it evolves into Dubwool, right? Like
Black Billy
or something like that, or like Woo Bill or something like that, or whatever. Like Beelzebub or something like that, and it's like a fire type Pokemon. Like again,
good.
Cooler ideas could be had, and that's why I think C for could have been cooler is a good idea.
Yeah, okay,
Agreed.
I'm fine with that. Freaking what did Poltegeist?
Poltegeist. Yep. It's very
Poltegeist?
silly.
Let's see. Poltegeist I put in wait, Sinistea was in S, right?
Yes.
So I put Poltegeist in A because it's like, I'm like, all right. Like,
I kind of want to give it a B.
Yeah, I was going to say B too.
Yeah, I don't know if it deserves that.
You know the logic I gave in the beginning of this list where it was like the Pokemon given the one-handed wave, or like, oh, hey, they're good boys and girls, right? Like, Sinistei's got this, like, I'm hanging out of the hot tub arm where he's like, hey, guys, it's me. Or, like, he's about to tell you something that you don't know about, like, really, like, underhandedly. I don't like that. I don't like this smug face. You're going in B for me.
Yes.
I see where you're coming from.
Sasuke.
I put him down all the way in C because C for could have been cooler if they kept the hoodie and just the hoodie went over the ears. Like, great middle evolution in practice, but not in theory.
But I think he's the best middle evolution. I don't think the middle evolutions are great. I think he's the best one, though.
I would agree with that. I would say him and Thwacky are like very similar, but I think that he.
I'll put Thwacky pretty low.
But I think that.
Gotta be real.
Well, I would say that it's him way and far ahead of everybody else in that sort of ranking for sure.
Rillaboom, A.
Rillaboom A, agreed.
Rillaboom A.
I was like, Parker's like, yeah.
It's like, yeah, that sounds, that's fine. Score Bunny, B.
Score Bunny is B?
B for bunny.
We are breaking this logic.
A for algorithm.
No,
A for algorithm.
S for baby. It is a beautiful, cute, adorable baby. It stays in baby.
Fine. S minus.
That's fine. Him and Morpeko can share the same spot.
There you go. Drizzile.
Drizzile.
Drizzile goes right next to Thwacky and Sasuke. It belongs in C for could have been cooler if they stuck with the same design principles.
Yes. Next one being Thwacky. And we know. There it is.
There he is. Right next to Sasuke.
Toxtricity.
Toxtricity went in A for me.
Yeah,
I like him.
I'm down with that. If they had both of the forms, I'd put the low-key form lower because I like the high-key form.
So here's the thing. I think that Toxtricity is a perfect encapsulation of what Pokemon has become in a cool way, right? Where there's the low-key and the high-key form. Like, there's like some... There's some inner machinations as to how they choose the forms, right, with the natures and everything. It's based off of the theme of the region, the punk rock stuff, and they have a cool story relevance that you wouldn't know about unless you went to the lighthouse in the water town or whatever. So, Parker, have you gone to the water town or no?
Yes, I have.
You're on the third gym, so
yeah. I wasn't able to go in the... Do you go into the lighthouse at some point?
No. So next to the lighthouse, there are these two statues of these Pokemon that look similar to Toxtricity, and you read the little panel, and it said that these Pokemon defended the city when the darkest day happened. So they made these little statues based off of Toxel and Toxtricity. Because again, darkest day, clouds, lightning, lighthouse. It kind of makes sense. And I thought that was super rad to have like these. They didn't need to do that, but having like the lore of like these Pokemon being important to this specific water town was really cool.
Yeah. That's cool.
Okay, the next one is
Stonejourner.
Yes. I like him just because of that video that Virum, who's a Smash Brothers commentator, posted of him joining his camp.
Yeah.
That was a great moment. That said, I don't think he deserves anything higher than B.
B is fair. I think
take
that's
it.
completely fair.
Going for B. B for Boulder Man. Mr. Mime. Galarian Mr. Mime.
Galarian Mr. Mime belongs down here in D for don't.
Yes. I am okay with that. Parker, any objections?
No, works for me.
Galarian Meowth.
What was that?
Galarian Meowth.
Galarian Meowth I put in B. He's the only
I would
baby
agree
that
with that.
belongs in B for baby.
Yes.
His doesn't make as much
Parker.
sense on its own as like the Berserker. I don't know. It just feels like it makes more sense than his there. I mean, obviously he needs to be like that to be able to evolve into Berserker, but still.
Yeah.
Yep.
He doesn't really have like a strong Viking theme.
Yeah,
he just
right.
has like the burly man.
I remember
kinda,
looking at him and being like, I don't really
like,
understand why, just why, you know? And also why
Alright,
he's
I
steel
don't-
doesn't make a ton of sense, but
What the heck is this thing's name?
Eldegoss.
Eldegoss. C.
C. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, I put it in D for. No, yeah, it belongs in C. Doesn't belong in D
Yeah,
for
I don't
don't.
think it's actively bad. C is like for the you're fine. You can exist. D is when you get into like, all right, maybe we need to rethink you a little bit. Wooloo S.
Easy.
Wooloo is S for sure. B, it is in the baby tier.
True. And they got Zacian. Is it Zacian?
Zacian is the sword. One,
Sword.
The
right?
sword.
Yep.
Yeah, he's a
Sword one rips. It's got
I like the sword one.
It's carrying a sword in its mouth. I put it in.
He's-
Where'd I put it? I put it in A. I put both of the dogs in A.
Yeah, I'm down for
Yeah, that
that.
feels good.
A.
And then we got
Double
one
A.
left. And it is
Sobble S.
Sobble.
Sobble belongs in S, yes.
Classic. And there it is.
There it is, the official list.
Wait, did
know.
we talk about Mr. Rhyme?
Yes, we did.
We did.
Oh, where do we put him?
I think we put him in the sin list. The
What about
sin
the final
tier.
evolution of the girl with the hat? Did we talk about her?
I think we
briefly, yeah.
So in case we skipped over it, I just want to make sure that everyone knows. There
I
are
put her in
five.
D.
No, incorrect. There
Okay,
are 5
we put her
Pokemon
in
that
the
belong
tier.
in Sin. It is the 3 fossils. The one that people are gonna make really weird fan art over, which is this one. It was Gardevoir when Gardevoir came out, and then Mr. Rhyme.
Yeah.
This is the Sin category. If I see y'all in public with these Pokemon on your squad, it's over for you. that is what this tier is reserved for.
There it is. I will post this on the Fanatics for Twitter. Maybe on Sunday, so people have time to listen.
That's what
you
I was
know?
gonna say. Yeah, just give them a little time, y'all.
And this is where they
There
belong.
it is. This is where the Pokemon definitively belong. If you have different opinions, you're wrong.
And it rhymes, so it's gotta be
Damn.
true.
Okay. They really hit us with that.
So that's the list.
That's the list.
Parker, did you have anything else you wanted to talk about?
We've got a couple Q&A
Okay.
that we can do real quick.
All right.
And then I think that's it.
Here it is.
So there's that. Yeah, Q&A. Hey, everybody. If you're listening to this, you already probably know the answer. You know that you can ask us questions, and we'll answer them, and it's always fun times. I pulled one comment from last week to talk about because it was a couple questions as well. Griffin X said this part I think was answering what we talked about in the podcast a bit, but he said Generation 4 and 5 are both on the DS, and 6 and 7 were on the 3DS as well. I'm guessing this could be attributed to the fact that the games come out at a faster pace than before, because we talked about how the first 3 gens there was just one per console essentially, and then
I don't know if they come out faster. Generations, I mean, pretty much since the beginning were like every 3 to 4 years.
yeah, I think
So
maybe it's just where it fell in the console life cycle, I guess.
I would say like the first few generations felt like that because they stuck with Game Boy so long. Like the console generations come out slower.
Yeah.
I mean, came out slower. The games are the same pace, but the consoles are kind of a different pace than before. Because like they were on Game Boy from freaking what 1988 or something like that to like 2000.
Yeah, something.
So I think that's the main differentiator there.
Makes sense. But then he goes on to say, AJ, since you think the battle system in Pokemon should change, what would you like to see from it? And would Pokemon...
I don't have time for that in this.
Very
we're gonna make a whole video about it. We're making graphics. We're making UI different. It's a whole thing, dude. It's a whole project. We've been working on this for a long time.
Yep.
So it's going to be a time.
So here's the thing, though. I don't know what your ideas are for this battle change system. I did see a video of a different Pokemon YouTuber talking about how they thought before Pokemon Sword and Shield's things were revealed, they thought the mechanics of Sword and Shield were going to be based off of the crowd. They thought that they were going to be an active sort of element to it. And at the very end of the game, there is something that involves the crowd, but it's not exactly the same as what I'm referencing, where like you would have to, like, for example, if it was a rock type gym, if you used rock type moves, that would pump up the crowd. Because obviously if you're like a rock type town, right, that would affect how people felt about you. So like the way that they were describing it was like, you'd have to micromanage, like, okay, if I use this grass type move, I'll maybe KO this person. But if I do a water type move, even if it's not super effective, I'll get an attack up for being chanted for, essentially. And there's kind of like a system like that in place that they were talking about. But I'm very curious to see what your thoughts are. Like, and how you can improve it.
I'm excited. It'll be a grand old time.
I'm excited.
He goes on to say, and would Pokemon Masters interest you if it was a premium game without any microtransactions or loot boxes? A full-fledged Pokemon spin-off on Switch?
No.
Continuing on with this comment, how do you think Game Freak will take what they did in Sword and Shield and improve on it in Generation 9? Since everyone loves the wild area, do you think it's now possible to have an open world Pokemon game where you can go where you want and battle whichever gym you want, and then being scaled to the number of badges you have?
Yes. I think that Game Freak is the type of studio that, like, they try something and they're like, hey, we're going to try this one new thing and we're going to see if you like it or not. And a good example of that would be like double battles. They're like, hey, double battles, that's neat. And now it's the format, you know, because people embraced it and they like it now. I think because the wild area is something that people embraced and they know even more now that people want more like open, like a more open game, less linearity with like which gym leader you battle and all that stuff. I think that they're going to experiment with that a little bit. And go like maybe now the wild area is just what people actually thought it was, where it's just the routes, like everything's the wild area.
Yeah.
That's totally what I thought too. I thought that the next game after this is definitely going to be just a giant circle area, and you kind of go very much like Ocarina of Time adjacent.
Yep. I mean, that's the dream in any case. Whether they do it or not, I guess, is another question. But I mean, it's much more likely now, for sure. I think that if they do it, it's not going to be freaking Pokemon. What was it? Pokemon Royal Sword and Shield. Yeah. I don't think it's going to be that. It's going to be.
Wait, that's a good name.
That was that G-Pimp?
That was a Q&A thing.
Yeah, I think that was. So. Yeah. Which
I
is
think
also
Royal Sword. Well, I thought that the next version was going to be Pokemon Spear and Pokemon something else. Yeah, because if you look at Termitess's face, it kind of has like this triangular mark that looks like a spear. We never talked about why this Pokemon generation is like built specifically for the time skip, like the next version. You know what I'm saying? So like, again, I'm not going to say spoilers or whatever. No spoilers, obviously, but again, because your character, like usually in Pokemon games, time doesn't exist, right? It's like, hey, this is this thing and that's it. Right, like gym leaders never change. Like they usually don't get new Pokemon after you beat them. You never see them again.
I mean, time doesn't exist in the context of the game itself, because there is like Gen 1 to Gen 2. There's a time difference between there. It's like 3 years later or something like that. But I mean,
within a singular Pokemon game, usually there isn't. Like from like red to red and blue to gold and silver, there is a time jump, and like then you can fight the facsimile of yourself from red and blue in gold and silver. That was really cool. And I think that's when Pokemon is the coolest, is when they allow themselves to acknowledge the past and embrace it and then move forward, right?
Yes.
And that's kind of a theme in this game as well. And with the gym leader format, they mention it even where you're at right now, Parker. They mention that the gym battle is not set. Whoever is stronger or weaker in that tournament or whatever, they move around. So like even in the lore,
does that actually happen mechanically, or is that just how they frame it
they frame it?
Okay.
Yeah. Well, kind of both. But you don't like it happens, but it doesn't happen while you're battling the gym.
Yes, it happens
like
in a story.
more than one gym leader will change by the time you end
Oh,
up.
that's fun.
Yeah, which is super rad. And I think that's very interesting as someone who loves these games where like if Pokemon Spear happened, or actually you're at the third one, right? So they're going to talk about a gym leader that used to be the best gym leader, but then over time has gotten worse and worse because they haven't changed their style. And that's like a story element.
That's fun.
And like, and Milo, the first gym leader, he talks about it all the time in his gym battle, is that it actually, and it's said in the lore that he is one of the strongest gym leaders, but he feels bad when he beats people. So he would rather be the first gym leader and openly not try and let
That's
you
really
win.
fun.
Yeah. And like, that's kind of, they say it in his thing where the first time you battle him, he's like, well, good luck or whatever. Like he doesn't care about winning. And that's kind of his whole like story arc or whatever. So like having a next game where like, oh, the gym leaders completely switch around and guess what? Milo, something happened and now he tries really hard and he's the 8th gym and he is the equivalent of Raihan that would blow my mind. Like, what does that even look like? Right. That's super interesting to me. So that's how I think that this game is totally ripe for a sequel.
Yeah.
Also, it's fitting that he's a grass gym and he's like the sandbag one also, because grass is just has the most weaknesses. It's like the most like pushover type.
Yeah.
But again, the Appleton is a dragon Pokemon, or is a dragon ice Pokemon, or a dragon and grass Pokemon. Like he could use like Gigantamax Appleton and like do all like there's some stuff that he could do, like bring back
he has to give him some like items, like he has to get like an ability or something that makes it like normal weakness damage instead of 4 times weak to ice, just double.
Exactly.
That would make it a more challenging situation. But
some of what you said actually brings us to our next question, which is from Luis GVN,
Luis.
He asked us, you mentioned like Red being the final boss in Gold and Silver stuff. The question is, what would be another Red is the final boss level moment for Pokemon if there ever was another? So I guess that reveal of like, wow, that's, whoa, you know.
Yeah, I think that would be an interesting reveal down the line where it's like, oh, hey, like if they do, again, I don't think they will, but if in my perfect world, while people are still freaking out about the National Dex, they make another game using the same engine. And like the surprise is that, oh, hey, by the way, we added some more Pokemon from the National Dex in this. That would satisfy those people, right? And because obviously if they use the same engine, they have more time to add more Pokemon, right? If we're using their logic to it. Cut to Milo being the last gym leader. The gym challenges all switched around, and maybe it's a situation where Leon is now no longer champion, but he's a gym leader, or he's something else. Like characters changing, and like maybe you having a moment where you go like maybe in this Pokemon Spear game, there's the wild area has changed, and like in the very center there's like a castle, and that's the new battle tower, and at the very end of the battle tower you fight yourself using the save data from your last game. That would that would be nuts. I think that's the only way you can top the Red moment, is that literally you use, because that's what they did with the Pokemon, what's it called? They read your file, your Switch, to see if you have Eevee or Pikachu.
Oh yeah.
So imagine that, but imagine it being a situation where, oh, we saw you played the original Sword and Shield. We saw your 6 most used Pokemon. Guess what? They're now level 100 and you have to fight yourself. Like that would make universally everybody be like, oh no. That would be that style of moment, but I can't think of anything else.
Yeah, I think that would be like the only path forward for that same level of impact, because like Red being the moment made a lot of sense because Red is Red. Yeah. You know, like here your character looks vastly different from my character, right?
Yeah, of course.
That's not the case for Red. You're Red.
Yeah.
You know? So here they would have to like import your save and then look into that and say like, oh, okay, these are the Pokemon that will give it, this is what you wore the most or whatever. And then go from there. Also, I think another moment like that would just be like a Pokemon Gold situation where it's like they didn't really promote the fact that the Kanto region was in it.
Yeah.
But if they just put Kalos in there and didn't say anything,
people would literally lose their collective minds.
I mean, that's like, that's like the Link to the Past type thing of like, oh, this is what I think in game. It's hard this day and age just because there's, you know, the internet and stuff, so you'll find out some other way. But if there can be a reveal in game that's like, you think it's this, and all of a sudden you find out like, oh, it's this bigger thing than it is or whatever, I think that does that. So again, Kalos showing up or something along those lines would be dope. But again, data miners and all that happens, so it's tricky. Yeah, good answers. Max Wright asked us a question that we sort of spent the whole episode answering. What's the best new Pokemon and the worst new Pokemon? Also, what's the best new form and the worst new form? Galarian and Gigantamax included.
Ooh, okay. You can't throw that layer at the end. Best Galarian form is Obstagoon. It has to be it.
Yeah, Obstagoon. Well, can we count Obstagoon as a Galarian form?
I think so, yeah, technically.
Like, wouldn't he just be a Galarian Pokemon
He's
at
just
that
an
point?
evolution.
Maybe.
Like, in my mind, like, Linu would be like if I were to say best and that, like, it's a form of that Pokemon, I would say Galarian Corsola, probably.
Interesting.
But, like, if Obstagoon counts, then I would put Obstagoon there.
Yeah, that seems reasonable.
Yeah, I would say Obstagoon, best Gigantamax. That's a hard one. Charizard rips, I'm not going to lie. I don't even like Charizard, but he's really cool.
Charizard dope.
I haven't seen enough to have an opinion. Worst new Pokemon and worst new form.
The Mr. Rhyme.
Yeah.
Yeah, worst new Pokemon is either Mr. Rhyme or one of the fossil abominations.
And then I guess
but, like,
the worst
at least they
form
have a
is
lower
just
reason
Mr.
for
Mime.
being terrible.
Exactly. Good God, that Pokemon is a sin.
Best new Pokemon over. I don't know. I'm torn between. I think I'm gonna go with Toxel. Toxel is probably my favorite one overall.
Yeah.
Without the asterisk of Ice Cube just being so dumb that I love it.
Purple
so
Baby's
yeah, I
pretty
think
great.
I think I'm going Toxel.
Yeah, Toxel's my vote too.
I'm looking at the list right now. Wooloo's great. Not gonna lie.
That is true.
I'm gonna put Rookidee. I don't know why. Just because.
That's solid.
So there you go.
I support that.
Next question from Pete Imbesi. And Max and Pete are both at the Loot Pot, so go check out lootpots.com. And he asks, what lesson do you hope Game Freak will learn from Sword and Shield?
Wild area,
Yes.
camping,
Yes.
story.
Let me pet him in Pokemon camp.
Yeah, let me get different toys and different
Yes.
things around. Like that's one thing that I want to learn.
Just make Pokemon Camp Nintendo. Just do
Literally,
that.
yeah.
Just put Nintendogs into Pokemon Camp.
Yes.
You got it. It's done. It's finished.
Yes, agreed. I think that, I would say everything that they've learned this generation has been because of the work that was built up by previous generations. So just continue doing what they've been doing. Like make the story more prevalent, give every single gym leader awesome character and expressions, give them all backstory, I want the trainer cards to come back, actually. That's the number one thing that I want. Because that was like the weird, dumb mechanic I thought that I wouldn't give it about. And then guess what? Cut to me being like, oh, yo, AJ, send me your card. Like,
We almost made it, Parker.
Oh no! Wait! Oh no! I said it bad. I said a cuss. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
It's fine.
I'm sorry.
It's fine.
Editing.
Okay, cool. Sorry. Write that down. I did a big cuss. So I'm from New Jersey. You're lucky that I haven't been cussing the whole time.
I mean, so am I, but we didn't prime you on that, so that's our fault.
I'm sorry.
But we're doing good. We're doing good.
Almost the whole time. Yeah. So it was. I thought that I wouldn't care about it the whole time, but like I found myself like customizing my trainer card every second I could, and like sending to my friends, and being like, "Oh, look, I got a new back, or I got a new pose, or I got a new."
I'm hurt. You didn't send me a single card.
When we traded, we got one. You get one automatically.
True.
So I have two of your trader cards actually.
That's true.
But yeah, I think that the one thing that I want them to learn moving forward that I didn't expressly say is just like, don't like the trader cards, for example. You need to update every time you update it. You need to resend it to everybody. That's annoying. The Gigantamax. The process of getting a Gigantamax Pokemon, the reason why people are like spoofing the raids and going over and over again to get the one they want and like glitching the game is because they're a 5% catch rate that you have to wait a whole day to do essentially. That's annoying. Like I think that my biggest no with games is that if people are glitching and finding exploits, it means that you haven't designed systems in place that are interesting, interactive, and like long-term fun, I guess. So I don't really like the way they handled the dens in a lot of aspects. But overall, just everything. This game has been an amazing tour de force for Pokemon. So
Yeah, agreed.
Next question.
More of the same, ironically.
Yeah, right.
Next question is from Bianca Wicks, who asks, what sport could we invent that best utilizes the talents of a new Pokemon? My vote goes to Wooloo Bowling.
Ooh.
Inteleon Sharpshooting is one
That's
that
rad.
I thought of.
Yo,
That's rad.
So there's that for you.
I'm down with that.
Mr. Rhyme
something
tap
with
dancing
Cramorant?
competition.
Mr. Rhymes what?
Mr. Rhyme's tap dancing competition.
Yes, that'd be great.
I want, I mean, this isn't a sport, really, but I want Ice Cube to become a breakdancer.
Or a DJ. You know, it's like a mouse, dead mouse kind of thing.
Yeah.
Something like that.
I want Appleton to be an apple pie tasting like competitor person.
That's morbid.
Well, no, because he's a grass type. He's not made of apple pie, but he
Oh,
would know,
yeah.
right? Like he grew up with apple pie.
That's true.
So
Yeah. Something with, last one for me, something with the caterpillar looking one. I don't know what.
Oh, the failings or whatever.
Yeah.
oh gosh,
Doing
Phalanx line
something.
dancing.
Yeah. There you go. So there's that question. Kumba Koopa asks, do you think that if the Pokemon Company / Game Freak keep using the same generic formula, that people will lose interest with the franchise? Or do you think people will still play the games just because it's a new Pokemon game?
I think people lose interest all the time. I think people that feel that way and say like, oh, people get tired of Pokemon, exaggerate their importance to the success of Pokemon. Like most of the people that buy Pokemon are going to be people that don't usually buy Pokemon. It's going to be kids. It's going to be people that like they didn't play every generation, you know? So it's like, and it's the same thing as like with Smash Brothers, right? Like there's people like me that's like, I want X, Y, and Z in Smash Brothers, but I'm not the person that they're going to go to decide that because I'm not the majority of the audience. Yep. I'm just the loudest one.
I think that kind of to what echo what AJ just said, people are going to lose interest over time no matter what the series is, right? Like I lost interest in sports games because I felt like they were the same every time. It's the minute changes with long-term series that really keep people, right? So for me, the designs of the new Pokemon, I love seeing them, right? Even if mechanically the game doesn't change, that's what draws me in is the new worlds and the new places they inhabit and the new Pokemon that are there. So that's enough for me, but it might not be enough for the next person.
Because I'm on like, I'm not the opposite side of that, but like I'm actively disinterested in the battle system at this point because I'm just tired of it.
That's
but
fair. Yeah.
The world and everything around it, that's why I play Pokemon. And it's pretty much always been. The battles have just been like a thing of like, I'll put up with this. That's fine.
I mean, yeah, it's like very much turn-based RPG. Not fodder is not the right word, but like it is exactly what turn-based RPGs are. You know what I mean?
So, yeah.
Yep.
Yes.
And then the last question from Twitter, not a Pokemon question at all, which surprisingly all the other ones were. Jordan asks, how do you feel a lack of first-person shooters on the Switch?
How do I feel about that? As someone that doesn't usually play shooters at all that aren't Splatoon, you know, but as a Nintendo-focused creator that cares about his viewers, that want shooters, put more on there, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, you already have the best shooter of all time, Splatoon.
True. That's all I'm saying.
I think there's not, I mean, outside of Overwatch, which is like kind of becoming old. I mean, it's different than a lot of other FPSs or whatever. There's not like
Overwatch is
one
like
to
as Splatoon as you're going to get.
Right, yeah.
It's basically a Nintendo game already.
There's not one that a lot of Switch users can like rally around. I feel like they're all kind of in different niches or whatever. As opposed to like it would be good for there to just be a Call of Duty or something along those lines that people that get a Switch that want to play that kind of thing can all kind of rally around one game at least. I would think. Again, I don't care about it really at all for my own sake, but for other people's, yeah. So there's that.
And are you like a super shooter fan? Do you got any shooters you're pulling for?
Bro, did you see how long I went into the void talking about Pokemon? Do you think I like shooters? The answer is absolutely not.
Man, you're on freaking okbeast.com. You guys are varied.
You know what? That is true. We as a site are varied. Me?
Yes.
No.
You know what?
I'm very one-dimensional.
Indeed.
I appreciate that, and I support it
Yep.
wholeheartedly.
And the last questions we got, these are from Discord. We got just a couple left. Chicapo asks, guilty pleasure shows / book series / movies, etc. And specifies not foods because Fanatics foods.
Oh yeah, hashtag Fanatics Foods. I don't watch things. And also, I'm the type of person that, like, I don't understand the concept of guilty pleasure because I don't care what people think about what I like. I like it, you know?
Yeah.
Like, so it's like...
That's
a
how
very
most stuff
mature way of
is for
thinking.
me, too. I mean, there's a lot of things I watch, but I don't know that there's any that I'd consider necessarily a guilty pleasure. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, like, I watch a bunch of shows, and I don't read any books, so I'm a little guilty about that, I suppose.
My guilty pleasure is my lack of guilty pleasure.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm not saying that out of any kind of pride or anything. It's just that, like, no, I'm like, I think I enjoy the things that I like, and
Yeah.
I'm trying of a guilty pleasure. I guess like, I used to watch like the Flash TV shows and like all the superhero shows week to week. Now that I don't have the same amount of time, I don't really do that as much. That used to be my guilty pleasure, though, for sure.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
My guilty the closest I get to guilty pleasures is still playing Smash Brothers. What, 8 months out or 11 months
yeah,
out
it's
now.
almost soon to be 12. That's crazy.
Speaking of that, I did play this week. I did play it. I did.
So here's the thing, then. The thing that we learned is that you shouldn't have a guilty pleasure. Just enjoy the things that you love, and then just love them.
Just like the thing you like, man.
unabashedly.
Who cares? You're playing it.
That's right.
Not other people.
Exactly.
Or watching it.
And then he asks also, favorite game of all time. Can't be Smash or Pokemon, he says.
Oh, well,
How
that's
dare you.
unfair, man. Get out of here.
I think you might as well say like my 12th favorite game of all time.
Easy answer, Breath of the Wild. Y'all know this.
That is, that's a, you know what?
Yeah.
That's a good egg right there. That's a good mon.
I'd say Breath of the Wild, or because I like mechanics more than systems overall, I'd probably say Mario Odyssey.
Whoa, that's a video essay right there. Mario Odyssey versus Breath of the Wild, mechanics versus systems, a deep dive
Yes.
by Fanatics 4.
Yes. No, that's an OK Beast thing.
Oh,
Don't
definitely
make-
not. I can't. That's too heady for us. It's too smart.
You literally just titled it.
Hey, I'm a titles man. I'm not a content man. That's all I got.
Okay, all right.
That's 90% of the battle.
There you go.
You know what? On YouTube, it is.
Yeah.
It's true.
It is.
Unfortunately. Moving on. Mega Man asks, in the spirit of Thanksgiving, apple pie or apple crumble? Hashtag Fanatics Foods.
What
Easy
is,
answer. Apple crumble.
Real
Straight
quick,
up.
the difference?
So apple pie is apple pie, obviously. Apple crumble
Yes,
is
That's
more.
that Pokemon we just talked about, right?
Yeah, that's the one. How do I define apple crumble?
Is it like the crust difference? Is that apple crumble is a crumbled?
It's
Yeah, apple crumble's like less
It's
of a
more like a
at least
casserole
my understanding
looking
of it-
thing.
Yeah, it's less of like a filling sort of situation.
so okay.
you
It's
know?
like it doesn't have.
It's
Yeah,
like
so it's-
apple with granola on top.
Have you ever had like
Yeah.
a upside down cake or something, or a dump cake? It's more like
dump
that.
cake?
Yeah, like which.
You have to break down what a dump cake is, bud.
And I think the idea is that I've only recently had it for the first time. My wife's family makes it, but it's like you make a cake or something like that, and then you pour, I think, the mix a little bit on top so that it like crumbles or like, I don't know, something like that. So it's got
That's
like some
smart.
of the dry mix on top that's like crunchy. So apple crumble is kind of a similar sort of thing where it's like the filling at the bottom with some of that's mixed in with some things, and then at the top is like a granola sort of deal, I guess. I've never made it, but my mom used to make it all the time, and it's the bomb. So
So here's the thing. I think that mechanically, we're talking about mechanics and systems. Mechanically, apple pie is worse because the thing about crumble is that you can have smaller bites of it more easily with more textures in a smaller bite. So mechanically,
Consistent good
you get
bites.
some exactly. So like you get like the ice cream bit, you get the crumble bit, and they all work together evenly. That's a good for a mousse bouche, good mouth feel. You know what I mean? But like the apple pie,
we said mouthfeel 3,000% more than we have ever said.
Hey, you know what, man? Arascuda, bad mouthfeel to say. It does not feel good to say Arascuda. I'm gonna be real. But I think apple pie, visual presentation wise, there's a lot there. And I think that the texture differential between a nice crust and a nice filling is good. But here's the problem. the majority of apple pies you're going to have a bad crust. So I think that having a good crumble is easier than having a good pie. So I'm going with crumble.
Yep.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Works for me. Fanatics Foods, that's what's up. My last question.
Hashtag
My next essay.
CBT Fruffles asks us, sticking with the Thanksgiving theme, favorite new Apple Pokemon, Flapple or Appleton?
Flapple.
I'm an Appleton
Flapple's
apologist.
Like, I like Flapple just because he's like the closer one to a cool Pokemon.
Yeah, no, I agree with you that they were like, hey, like Jimmy, like we said before, goes to the other Pokemon designers and they're like, hey guys, we have this Apple Pokemon, but we need at least one of them to be cool. And then someone was like, man, it's Friday. I'll work over the weekend. And then they did it, and that's what they came up with. And good golly, they got real close to like a cool Pokemon.
Yeah.
But I don't know if I, in earnest, could be like, wow, so cool. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's not all the way there, but he tried.
Yeah.
And I'm going to give him points for that.
So my problem, the reason why I like Appleton is that they were like, hey, this is dumb, but you know what? It's adorable, right? And then you're sitting there like, I can't lie. It is kind of cute. It's like a puppy. So
It is kind of a puppy.
there you go.
And you know what? That is it for this. We are done. That's all the questions and all the content. Ian, where can we find you?
You can find me on Twitter at IanWhyNot. You can find me at OKBeast Now on Twitter. That is the OKBeast social account. We post all of our videos and essays and various different things like that. We post sometimes lists of things that are on S rank to Sin rank as well. That's a thing that we do every once in a while. And then you can find us on YouTube as well. That is, I think, at OKBeast, just raw on YouTube. And yeah. Oh, also I do a podcast about anime called A+ Anime. If you're into that sort of thing, talk about sort of my experiences in Japan and like how I've learned about the anime industry. And we have guests on from like all over the world. It's a really, really fun time if you enjoy that. Also, you don't need to know anything about anime before you go in. Every episode is its own encapsulated thing. We also have like fun episodes where we make up our own anime, like from scratch, which is really cool. So you have no anime knowledge needed to jump into that. And that is at on Twitter if you want to follow that along as well. That's at A+ Anime, all spelled out APLUSANIME at twitter.com. So yeah, that's about
Good
it.
stuff.
If you're on YouTube, that will all be in the description. Podcast services, I don't know if they'll let me put links in that, but I'll try.
I think so. I could be wrong. I don't know. But yeah, that's it.
What's the stupid question we'll ask people this week to see if they listen to that?
Okay, if robots were to take over the world, what color would they paint the sky? I don't know.
How are they painting
That
the
sounds
sky?
like-
That's science for them to figure out. We don't need to know.
That sounds like
Okay.
What's that thing? Do sheep dream of electric, or what is that thing from Blade Runner? Do robots dream of electric sheep? Is what it's called.
There you go.
That's what it feels like. That's like that quote just now. If robots took over, what color would they paint the sky? That's what it feels like.
There it is. Give us all your answers in the comments down below.
There
You know?
we go.
That's what's up.
Thanks for listening, guys.
Adios.
If you enjoyed it, you can click the subscribe button on the platform that you're on, or follow, or whatever it says. You know, there's a lot of different verbiage on the internet. We live on the internet, you know. True. Also, if you're listening on podcast services, you should rate and/or review us on that platform because it helps with placing and all that great stuff.
True.
All the other housekeeping crap I said at the beginning, if you don't remember, go to 000 of this podcast and listen to me blab on about that.
That's what's up.
Okay, goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.